Gmod content as of late has kind of just been,
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the
content as of
The main one we're going to be using today is the Bloods versus Crips.
I'm 13, boy.
They were affecting my gameplay on a server that I've contributed money to them.
I mean, is it just me, or does Gmod itself just sort of feel off?
Self-defense!
I like your cut J swept for $8.
Give me 20 bucks. 20 fucking bucks.
It's been only 10 minutes on this server. It's been only 10 minutes.
Hello, Gary's Mod admin.
So you know what? Forget all this modern Gary's Mod bullcrap. Let's go back to the early 2010s.
My name's Jonathan, and I'm 8 years old, and I live in Texas.
I'm flipping.
I'm gonna headbutt you! I'm gonna headbutt you! I'm gonna... Enough!
Ah, much better. Ooh. In these few years alone, Gmod content was at its absolute peak. Hundreds, if not thousands of these random videos featuring deformed scouts, Eli Vance dancing, and all-around random skits flooded YouTube. Oh, and of course, how could I forget? Gary's Mod Stories. Thanks to the game's easy accessibility, pretty much anyone could boot up their desired editing software and just make whatever nightmaric fever dreams that plagued their mind.
Bye. Look. Cox.
One of these many channels went by a guy called
XanderDarkEye.
But instead of comedy, he made his Gmod films more professionally. He would roleplay these episodes of alternative universes inside the Half-Life 2 world.
What's up, motherfucker?
While amateur for today's standards, people back then loved this stuff. The demand was high, and Xander was all in. He would continue to make more films month by month, some spanning into episodes that combined could last hours. This was serious business to him, and the success would soon come his way. But one fateful day a few years later, his channel was terminated, locked from the public, and a lot of his content was, simply put, erased. But at last, on a December morning of 2017, he made a new channel going by Crowbar Productions, and would re-upload plenty of his previously missing Gmod films that he made. Hooray! Now, here's the thing. Why do I bring all this up? I'm here to see you talk about a film, Sournale. Well, I've talked about all this stuff for the past minute, because had it not been for Xander re-uploading his already terminated content, you and I probably would have missed out on what is perhaps the greatest Gmod film you will ever see.
How many bullets do you got?
Not enough.
I think he'd rather hear it from you. Don't you see he's with the KOW?
He's with us.
I ain't going back to your camp, man.
I see.
I'm just gonna ask you a few questions. You think you can handle that?
Would you mind telling me who the hell you are?
Hey, I made this decision. Then you make terrible fucking decisions, Harry.
I will try to touch it.
No, you can't do that. It's dangerous. It's forbidden. You don't know the consequences.
The Dark Days is an incredible series, and I hate that it's underrated. Ever since Xander got terminated, the series never really took off after that, with some of the recent episodes only going into the 4 digits of views. Hell, the only reason I even knew the series existed was because of a friend of mine a few years back that passively mentioned it, making me curious to figure out what it was. And to make matters even worse, The Dark Days is a discontinued project. Yep, in true Half-Life style, there isn't even a proper ending to conclude it. There's an update video that explains why this is, and apparently it's because the tools needed to animate the characters were broken, something along those lines. There is an ending script-wise, but there won't be an episode probably ever to cover it. And remember, this was created in a time far long gone now. It's pretty much a time capsule that won't return to its former glory, probably ever. This is ultimately the reason I'm making this video, because Xander is still around today, still making Gmod episodes. And I really want his work to be known. So go watch The Dark Days, and for that matter, any of his other Gmod videos that he made along the way. Now, before I dive into this masterpiece of a movie, I do have to give a few disclaimers because this is the most unusual series out there to get into. First is simply the quality. See, if you're coming into this thinking you'll watch an 8K, HD, 120 FPS high graphics movie, you're pretty much out of luck.
Beefy boy.
The Dark Days is objectively amateur looking. Pixels can be seen everywhere, textures from 2004 reek the screen, and for one of the 3 seasons, there isn't even mouth movement at all.
Yeah, that occurred to me too.
What?
I grew up watching low-quality videos like this, so I barely notice it. But if that's not your taste, you're not going to get into this. Audio issues are also painfully obvious. Sometimes the music is too loud, the voice acting is questionable, and is all around something you'd exactly expect from a 2009 internet video. I was also originally going to go super in-depth with each episode in the series, but if I did that, the video would be 5 years long. So I'm going to end up skipping details and even time skipping parts of the plot that aren't very interesting. Even with all of the issues that Dark Days has, I still absolutely love it. It is clear as day that so much love and passion has gone into this. The characters are lovable,
Pink-haired, shrieky lid.
the pacing is surprisingly good. I mean, hell, it even has its own soundtrack. Give me this over every zombie movie any day now. Okay, I think I've said everything I needed to say. There isn't anything else I need to add, so yeah, let's get into this. The Dark Days begins with a drone shot, showing a foggy city that is all but abandoned. People hanging can be seen, weapons are dropped all over the ground, and there seems to be something seen in the distance. How spooky. A few more shots later, and our first character is introduced. There is an official name for this guy later on in the series, but that's on one of the last episodes, so for most of the runtime, the guy is simply referred to as the Gas Man. Now, if you're wondering why no one knows his name, that's because he doesn't talk. The Gas Man is mute, but is nonetheless an expert at surviving. I mean, he even has his own car that he can blow up whenever. And even more mysterious, we don't know what he looks like. It's shown that he can take off his mask, but you'll never see his face anytime soon. The first 10 minutes are just him living about his life. In fact, it's actually kind of boring. I mean, for 2 minutes straight, there's just a montage of him towing a car and throwing zombie bodies in the river. So, let's fast forward. 15 minutes in, and Gasman tunes into the radio. And probably for the first time in months, contact is made.
We need help. They're everywhere. We're in Wall Street. In one of the buildings.
Someone is screaming for help and is begging for backup. Gasman, probably with literally nothing else to do in his free time,
I regret nothing.
decides to head to their location. In a random warehouse, 5 survivors are fighting for their lives, but 2 of them die in the process. Hey, take a look at this guy called Rick. You like him? Well, too bad. He's dead. Gasman comes just in time, and helps get them all in the back. Ignore the green screen. I told you this wasn't gonna be professional looking. Hey, take a look at this guy called Jones. You like him? Ooh. Well, oh noes! A washing machine is in the street.
Frank, we have to save him! Jones!
Okay, so let's recap now a bit. 2 people that got about 1 minute of screen time died, and now there's just 3 random people crashing in Gasman's house. This is Tony, and don't worry, he has more than 5 minutes of screen time, trust me. He's for the most part pretty normal among the pack, and was apparently a good friend of Jones since he was a kid.
I've known Jones since I was a kid.
Yeah, remember Jones? Yeah, me neither. This guy here is Jake, and he's pretty much now the de facto leader. I mean, come on, he's Malo 7. Did you think he wasn't gonna be one? Now, this guy is actually very interesting, because before the Dark Days ever existed, there was a prequel called The Infection, and Jake was in it alongside a friend of his called Dave. Dave also makes an appearance in the Dark Days, but you won't see him in the season. Just know that they later get ambushed by zombies on a bridge. Dave tells Jake to jump off, but Dave never came. Oh, and finally, there's this dude.
Hey guys, check this out!
Now, if I'm gonna be honest, Harry is my favorite character of this entire series, hands down.
I didn't expect the gas man to have sham wow. Haha, you guys remember that? I can still remember those commercials. Sham wow.
He is absolutely the comical relief of the group. He's not the strongest or the smartest, but if he died back at that warehouse, or even just flat out didn't exist, I probably would have stopped watching the series a long time ago. I know the descriptions of these characters are brief, but trust me when I say later on they all develop into far more deeper characters. For better, or for... well, you'll see.
Sham wow makes you say wow every time you use it. You get it? Makes you say wow. Because it's called sham wow, I better just go now.
Okay, cool. So these 3 guys seems to be alright. And they're probably gonna have a strong relation with the gas man as time goes on.
Listen, punk. Jones was a good friend of mine. Maybe Jake sees your arrival as something heroic. But we could easily get out there without your help. But Jones alive as well. Just don't stand in my way, I'll kick your ass, punk.
Oh. Okay, so where were we? All right. So the group begins to take shelter in Gasman's house. During it, Harry takes a look at the guy's gaming dungeon. He notices a cell phone on the table. He messes around with it, but then...
Guys? What the hell?
Jesus Christ!
And this is why you don't go through people's search history.
Are you mad at me?
As a result of damaging the car, Harry is forced to find a new one with Gasman, while Tony and Jake stay behind. Tony, as we just saw a minute back, clearly doesn't trust Gasman at all for killing his best friend that we totally were attached to.
I don't trust him.
Are you kidding me? I'm not in the mood for jokes, Tony.
I mean, in every zombie movie, it's inevitable there's going to be distrust in a group. But this actually is one of my least favorite parts of the entire series, just because how weak the reason is for Tony's hatred of Gasman.
I'm not joking. This guy killed Jones. He did not kill Jones. If he didn't drive like a fucking retard, Jones would still be alive.
I've seen your kind before.
Perhaps if Jones survived a few more episodes and we got to know him a little bit better, then yeah, I guess that would be fine. But this is the second episode we're talking about here. We saw Jones for exactly 4 scenes, I think. I complain about this because the relation between the two is going to affect the entire series going forward. You'll see how soon though. A minute later, just when the group couldn't ruin the Gasman's house enough, some zombies hear the two inside. And as that's going on, even more zombies are blocking Gasman and Harry's path. Okay, well, he might as well just drive to another path.
That's too many. Hey, what are you doing? No. No! No, what are you doing? There's too many!
Oh, never mind.
Let's go back! Let's go back now, man!
In both scenes, zombies are invading the group. Tony is knocked to the ground while Jake fends for himself. And Gasman, to save Harry, just straight up leaves the truck and walks away.
What? Gasman? Gasman? Oh shit. Fuck. Should have learned to drive a car. Oh shit.
Harry, now alone, proceeds to explore the city, while this thing over here continues to stalk him. I'll talk about this creature in the future, but just know that it is super important later in the series. Anyways, Harry hears some shooting.
Yes, man?
Oh my god! Oh my fucking god!
And just when things get quiet, Gasman appears, with a bunch of zombies behind him. So they proceed to book it all the way to a cafe.
Come on, Gasman, let's hunt it down.
Where they trap themselves in, concluding the episode. Zombies are everywhere, making Harry and Gasman stuck. Nothing really is in the cafe that can help him, although they do end up seeing a new type of zombie, that is dead anyways. Apparently Harry has never seen it in his life, so this is clearly something uncommon.
I've never seen them so big before. Balls!
Something also strange happens too.
I almost shit my pants.
Zombies soon pound on the door, but just when the two think they're being invaded, the zombies are all gone. The two return back to Gasman's house, now all trashed. Tony, once again, is randomly arrogant to Gasman.
Lucky? This guy's a fucking disaster.
I mean, he and Jake just got his whole place wrecked, and now he's just straight up calling him a disaster. I'm sure you know where Tony's character will be in the future. In fact, things take a complete 180 now, as just when you think Tony couldn't be any worse, well, I'll just play the scene out.
Should have seen him when we were going to trash the car. Shut up! Whoa! I'm sick of your shit.
Tony!
Just shut the fuck up for 2 fucking seconds. Take it easy, man. No hard feelings.
You have to put yourself together. We're never gonna survive this.
No! We're never gonna survive this. Never, Jake. How long time have we wandered around looking for survivors? 10 years, Jake. 10 long years. And nothing has changed. But everyone will die. Ah!
Gasman!
Ah! The door! Ah! My leg!
Harry!
You just have to watch me fuck! Ah! 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 Oh!
Tony, intentional or not, shoots Harry in the leg. So now the team is divided again, with Jake and Gasman attempting to find medication in the hospital, while Harry and Tony are indoors. Tony, of course, tied down. Oh, and also, we got a huge lore drop by Tony thanks to his little episode. Apparently, Jake and his friends have been trying to find survivors for
10 years, Jake. 10 long years.
This would mean Jake has been in the city for most of his life, and is only now just finding someone like Gasman. Who knows? Maybe the reason Gasman is so tolerant of the group is also because he hasn't seen anyone in years. Whatever the case, no matter how much Tony disagrees, finding Gasman probably has been the greatest thing to happen to them since a decade ago. We're now at the halfway point through Season 1. The first half was pretty much building up scenes and getting to know everyone in the series. A lot of it was pretty boring coming in a second watch through, but now things are about to get a lot more interesting. Jake and Gasman eventually get to a hospital with little issues. But of course, it's a zombie movie, so the hospital is a complete mess. On the left is a foggy hallway downstairs, but to the right is another person.
Oh my god. Oh, what a surprise.
However, the guy is very clearly unstable, and the two immediately notice that. This guy is probably infected. I mean, I don't know. He's talking to a corpse he calls Jimmy and is eating the head crabs.
Would you like to eat dinner with us?
Might work, no reaction.
You're really going to eat those things? They make you feel like flying.
Okay.
But he has a medkit which they need. While absolutely out of it, he is nice enough to give it to them. Jake asks if he wants to come, but he states that the people outside are evil.
We don't go out. People are evil.
So they soon get out of there, leaving his fate unknown. But you want to know whose fate is known? Their truck. The truck, judging from this camera shot, was blown up by this creature. And even worse, the thing is now lurking in the house. Gasman and Jake ultimately walk on foot, but it's too late. Tony makes contact with the creature.
What the hell are you?
And next thing you know, the house is on fire.
Come on, let's get you out of here.
Jake was just about able to save Harry, but Tony was in the hallway now on fire.
I'm sorry, Tony. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Please forgive me.
So they end up leaving him.
I don't know what the hell is going on. Now we have to find a new safe house. Quick.
The last 5 minutes was nothing but chaos and grief. So to have the beginning of episode 8 be extremely quiet is nice. Zombies lurk, but they don't see him. There's no music, no threats, just the howls of the wind as Jake finds a place to call home. This episode is a bit shorter than most, so I'll keep it brief. The three are now on foot to find a new home and try to hide from all the zombies patrolling. By this point, everyone agrees that they need to get out of the city. They don't know what's beyond the foggy mist, but they've been in the city long enough and want nothing to do with it anymore. In the meantime, they just need to find another temporary home. They end up finding a house that is much bigger in size. Well, at least Jake found it anyway. He actually almost ends up being ambushed by a single zombie, but manages to kill him in a super cool slow motion shot.
Oh my god, inhuman!
And stay down, bitch.
They instead take shelter in a tiny interior where they heal up Harry. But yet, another figure proceeds to stalk them.
Somebody has been DDoSing my Wi-Fi.
Something else quite puzzling too is when the characters open the door to the bathroom. Gasman opens it first while Jake is in the other house, and even though he can't talk, it's very clear he's disturbed by whatever he's seeing.
What the hell?
Jake also sees whatever is in the bathroom minutes later, and whatever is in there, he's disgusted about.
That door has to remain shut from now on. I'm thinking, why don't you stay here and look after Harry while I'm going to find some food? Or if I'm lucky, a car that's not blown up.
About another minute later, Jake tells Gasman that they're getting low on food. With only 3 people though, someone has to stay behind to look after Harry. So Jake makes it his plan to go find food on his own.
Ignore me. I'm not gonna hurt you. Just passing through. Not doing anything wrong. Oh shit.
Jake eventually finds a store that might have food, but there's just one problem. He led the entire zombie population right into this tiny shop. Thankfully, they're stupid and soon forget where he is. Oh, and they also clip through the aisles, so that's pretty funny. But oh noes! The zombies find him anyways and beats him to the ground. It looks like this is it. But just then, out of complete nowhere...
Hey, over here, you shitheads. That's right, we better lay down.
This random guy helps Jake out. They've only met for about 30 seconds, and the guy already trusts Jake to throw a grenade outside.
Alright, son, make me proud.
Whoa! Did you see that? That was badass! Hey! Hey, where you
They
going?
kill the entire horde, but the man runs away immediately.
Where you... Hey, wait up!
Jake catches up, to which he shows him his safe house. Alright, let's talk about this new guy. According to him, he hasn't seen another human being in quite a while.
I haven't seen another human being in what feels like an entire lifetime.
His name is Boot, and he's quite strange. I mean, if it already wasn't strange enough for a Danish man to put on an Australian accent as his voice.
I can't remember my name. Well, that is just what I'm trying to do. I found a car that I want to use.
What is that for?
He apparently can't even remember his name, so Boot is a replacement. Whatever the case, he's a bit like Harry, where he's just a laid-back casual character instead of a serious one. Also a bit like Gasman, he's stocked quite up in supplies. Jake tells Boot that there's other survivors, and how they're planning to leave the city. Boot planned to get out of the city too, so they immediately connect. Before they go back to the safe house, Boot shows Jake a bus that still works, but is infested with zombies. They decide to deal with it later once they get the two others. Anyways, the episode is almost over. But before it ends, back at the house, Harry has a dream.
Where the hell am I? What the hell?
I had a script explaining what was going on in the scene, but honestly, saying nothing is probably better.
Harry? Tony? Is that you? Listen to me, Harry. I'm trapped inside this riddle. You have to help me, Harry.
Jake gets Boot back to the house and has him greet Gasman and Harry.
Hi.
Hi. Yo, what the f-
Harry, in the other room, talks to Jake about his dream. Even though it's our first time seeing his mind, Harry tells Jake that he's actually been having the same dream over and over again.
I've had dreams too. About Tony. And I keep dreaming about the same place. And it almost haunts me, Jake.
Harry also implies that Jake too has his own dream that happens over and over. And even for Jake, all of their dreams end in the same way, with the creature looking at them before waking up. Harry's dream started the moment the thing was right beside him. We still don't know who or what this thing is, but we do know that it's powerful enough to control you mentally. All it took was one look at it, and now Harry is having nightmares every moment.
This place looks like shit.
The talk about dreams, though, soon stops when Boot trash talks the house. And now, a cleaning montage happens.
What are you doing?
The next few scenes are peaceful. There's no zombies, no music, just the ambience of the wind and everyone doing their own thing. Without context, the next few minutes would come off as rather boring, but for the last 1 hour, it has been nothing but constant action, people dying, everyone moving house to house, and now, just for once, it's kind of nice. And is one of the only breaks the characters will ever get in the series. While Boot is doing whatever with his food, Gasman watches the window. Jake looks at a newspaper that dates before the outbreak 10 years ago, which is how long the outbreak happened according to Jake.
Can you believe it's been 10 years since the outbreak began?
He even mentions how there's a picture of the man that started this whole thing to begin with. Yeah, it's low quality.
It's strange.
Harry has another dream, where now Tony pleads him to get him out. Harry sees the creature in the distance, and it seems that Tony is terrified by it. But ultimately, Harry leaves him by jumping off. Back in the real world, Boo concludes that at least 2 weeks of constant food and supplies are needed before Harry is fully healed. Boot has supplies, but only enough for 2 days. So Boo and Gasman go back outside to find even more supplies. Jake, of course, stays behind to help Harry, and they quickly find another shop and take a look inside. Turns out there's still a lot of boxes left, and some of them even have food. Okay, so we're about 20 minutes left until season 1 ends, so this is probably it. Once they get the food, they'll just go back home and soon get the bus.
Ah! No!
Oh. Gasman ends up saving Boot's life, but is clearly traumatized by what happened. Back at the safe house, Jake writes off Harry's dreams as just that, a dream. Although Harry is beginning to think they're actually real.
And it almost haunts me, Jake. Really?
Relax, Harry. It's only a dream.
I hope you're right.
3 times already. I don't think it's funny anymore.
We also in this moment take a quick glimpse at Jake's mind. His same dream that has been on repeat for years is back in the infection video when Jake jumps off the bridge, leaving Dave to die. In fact, we actually get another lore drop. Jake's name isn't even Jake. He's called Jake because, like Boot, he doesn't remember his own name. In fact, he can't even remember anything past the outbreak. Things, however, are about to take a turn for the worst, as just outside the house right when a familiar figure comes back.
It's alright if you don't want to talk about it.
No, Harry, I really heard something.
Tony is back, and has a whole army of zombies ready to kill the two inside. Yeah, I know. This zombie series all of a sudden now turned into a super cool fantasy with people who have otherworldly powers. Thankfully though, there actually isn't many more scenes where reality is just thrown out the window. Tony explains that he has the entire town's worth of zombies all behind him. This is terrible news for the two inside, and they probably won't have enough to take them all down. But this is actually good news for Boot and Gasman. The bus is no longer infested with zombies. And they do confirm that the bus still can work, but it needs fuel.
I'm gonna need a gas can.
Boot ends up making the poor decision to split up and find the gas fuel. I mean, Boot himself isn't even searching for the gas, so he just sent Gasman on a suicide mission. And as a result, Gasman almost ends up dying to a new type of zombie he sees. Unlike every other zombie we've seen where they have head crabs on them, with one almost even turning Boot into a zombie, this one doesn't, and is a lot more deadlier than a normal zombie. We won't see another though for this season, and Gasman quickly takes care of it. Anyways, Gasman eventually ends up finding gas. Ha, funny. And now the bus is working. Back at home, Harry and Jake are now fighting the zombies. They're surprisingly putting up a good fight, and they even have a couple of grenades to help buy time. Harry isn't also entirely useless, as he's equipped with a deagle. I actually really like how this scene is played. Even though it's in no way professional, it still has a nice charm to it under all the action.
All of them? Not really.
Jake, wake up! I wanna be food! Jake, wake up! Now! Jake, wake up!
Boone and Gasman finally show up now, and help get Jake and Harry onto the bus. By now, all the zombies are gone, and they're able to get back onto the streets. With everyone now alive and in good condition, they drive off into the fog. Whatever is outside the city, good or bad, they're gonna hope it's better than this place. And with that, Season 1 is... over. The dark days always reminded me of something, but I could never quite get it to click in my mind. And it was only after rewatching Season 2 that I was reminded of my past with Gmod. You see, this video wouldn't have been made possible if it wasn't for one person. I met this guy named Dylan back in 2017, late 2017. We've played many games together over the years, but one thing that always brought us back was role-playing. Not role-playing like Dark RP. I mean role-playing as in we would spawn a bunch of Half-Life or Counter-Strike characters, and we would make stories about them. We would name them, give the ragdolls life, and have them go on adventures. Eventually, some characters stuck around, and we would use the same ones to continue the same story that could last weeks or months. We sometimes brought in other people to roleplay with us, but they never stuck around. It was only the chemistry me and Dylan could understand. You know, we almost lost each other forever at one point. Somewhere in 2018, I brought Dylan into a Gmod group I found with like 10 members. Without going into detail, it was quite the radical group. Within a year of us forming the group, members within started to hate each other for one reason or another, and now me and Dylan had to pick sides of two split-off groups. At one point, I unfriended Dylan because the group got that toxic and he was associated with it. It would have ended there because I had no intention of coming back, but alas, he wanted to friend me again months later. We refriended and things immediately went back to old days. Me and Dylan haven't interacted with the unnamed Gmod group since 2023. We both agree that spending time there only ever wasted our youth. But something that never wasted our time was all that role-playing we did. And then it clicked for me that the Dark Days is like a way more professional version of what me and Dylan used to do for years. If I remember, it was March of 2020. That's when he mentioned it to me. So I then proceeded to spend a COVID week binge watching the series. The funny thing is that I met him off of another friend I had. I met this one guy on a construct server who, I kid you not, I forgot the name of. We met and played together, I think, twice. His name started with something like James, I think. Within an hour, we became friends, and he showed me to his other friend on a Dust Bowl map. And that's where I met Dylan. We don't talk that much anymore, at least not every day like back in 2018 and 2019. I feel quite bad for not being that active anymore. So I hope this 1 hour, or however long this documentary is, makes up for my absence. Because if it wasn't for this one guy, this video would have ceased to exist. Season 1 overall was very good. It wasn't professional, it looks very pixelated in the worst cases, but the pacing was incredible for what little Xander had to make it, and he kept his mouth closed for a lot of the mystery surrounding the first season. But now the crew has escaped.
This is gonna be a long walk.
Buddy, we're taking a break.
Just like you.
And they told us there's nothing beyond it.
The second season is the longest one of the three in time length, coming in just shy of 3 hours. In Season 1, the entire plot revolved around escaping the city. Now it's having to escape a wasteland, dry of any resource, except for some characters we can't talk about right now. Also in the season, Xander tries to experiment more with ragdoll movements. Later on, it's going to look super impressive what he does, but for now, the movements look primitive and odd.
Oh
a flashback takes place, where Jake and Dave are once again back in the city. It's the same dream Jake has been having, if you remember, and Harry soon wakes him up.
Come on, Jake, wake up! Finally.
They are now finally out of the city. And look, it's no longer foggy.
We found a gas station and we're pretty much almost out of gas, so we're gonna check it out. Alright, this seems pretty trashed.
The bus is running low on gas, but thankfully more could be found in a station next to them. No zombies lurked in the building, but there was once again another one of those creatures without the head crab. Jake and Larry are outside, once again talking about their dreams. Jake is finally starting to crack and thinking that they're not dreams.
I had that dream again, Harry. Of me and that guy I don't even know. I think you're right about what you said before. Something must have happened to me. It made me lose my memory, and my subconscious keeps throwing it back at me in my dreams.
Man, this shit is fucked up.
But they don't go far into the conversation, as Gasman found more gas. Later down the road, Gasman pulls up to what seems to be an abandoned house. They're running low on food, and no one appears to be in it, so they quickly take shelter. They leave Harry back in the bus though, to which something appears to stop. Jake explores upstairs, where this happens.
Shit. Listen.
And back downstairs, Gasman and Boot are also held at gunpoint.
You're full of shit.
Everyone wakes up to see a man and his daughter taking them hostage. They're on the brink of shooting the three, when Boot, all of a sudden, coughs up some mysterious green stuff. This, for some reason, convinces the father not to kill them, but before he can release them...
Now we're sitting here with a gun pointed to our faces. And that's it. That's our story.
Interesting. What the?
Harry!
Welcome to the party.
Zombies suddenly show up at the front door. Another zombie fight soon takes place. Everyone's stationed near the house, while Harry is still on the bus. Thankfully, nothing bad happens though, and thanks to some explosive barrels, they are able to fight off the infection. Now that the father and daughter trust the group, they start discussing future plans. The logic they have is that since the zombies smell, more will soon come since there's a lot of bodies around. So they gotta go and find a new house. I'm honestly quite surprised the guy is chill about this. You know, since there's these guys they just met a minute ago and already wrecked his house. I guess that isn't the first time that happened. Yeah, it's a bit silly script-wise, but whatever. Regardless, they get a move on. Not before we get a shot of none other than Tony looking below. Episode 3 begins and ends in a very similar way to Episode 2. They end up finding another place to rest, a gas station that's on fire. This concerns the group, but no one seems to mind.
Fucked up shit, man.
Another relaxing scene takes place. Well, as relaxing as being in a gas station on fire is. The father talks to the crew about the wasteland, but more importantly, his daughter. He ended up having to raise her very early in the apocalypse, naming her Hope in the process. And like Gasman, Hope is mute, so you won't be hearing her talk. How cool is that?
It felt like years. And all those years, we only saw zombies at least 5 times. But sometimes not zombies, sometimes worse. Worse than zombies. Outlaws. People from the wasteland. We've also seen other creatures. Some strange things have happened during all those years of the outbreak.
Other creatures? What other creatures?
Don't let me get into it, son. And Gasman, you just got out of the truck, and all the zombies chased him. And then I got out of the truck, I've got to admit, I nearly pissed my pants. I was so freaked.
However, like all peaceful scenes in this movie, it's eventually disrupted by zombies, again at the command of Tony.
Oh shit! Oh, stay back!
Oh, fuck! They're all over the place! Fight them all!
The zombies invade the gas station, but everyone manages to stay alive in the meantime, including Harry, who forgot his gun.
Oh, fuck!
Actually, I lied in the last sentence. Everyone manages to stay alive, except for Hope's dad. Okay, a bunch of things happen all at once in the next few scenes, so I'll try and break it down. The zombies without head crabs start coming in and beating up the normal zombies. All the while, the creature we saw on the roof confronts the dad, and well... Boot watches as the creature gets away in the most epic animation possible. And the zombies eventually all die. Tony's plan once again failed, but did manage to kill one of the members in the process.
Don't worry about me, sweetheart. You have to let go.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's been rumored throughout Season 2 of the mysterious wasteland, and now the group has finally arrived in it. This is where the rest of Season 2 will take place. Beyond the wasteland is what the dad implied to be a safe haven. But to get there, they have to go through this barren environment. Back in Episode 1, he also mentioned of people he met that were from the wasteland, how they tried to raid his house, and so on.
Worse than zombies. Outlaws. People from the wasteland. Don't let me get into it, son.
It's a dangerous place with dangerous people. This was meant to be driven through quickly, but now the bus stopped working. To their luck, a petrol station is nearby. Or a gas station, I don't know. I've never said petrol in my life. Hope remains in the bus by Jake's orders, while everyone else raids the building. It's a high priority in his mind to protect Hope at all costs. So of course, naturally, they leave her out on a bus alone. Everything seems quite normal. I mean, as normal as a dead guy in the gas station. But while they're exploring the station, a gang pulls up, raids the bus, and kidnaps Hope in the span of a few seconds. They can't shoot the raiders in risk of shooting Hope. So, they watch as they drive away.
But Jake, we don't even know where he's taking her.
I'm not gonna give up, dude. I'm not. We have to get her back.
They can't go back and repair the bus, because now they need to go and find Hope first. So they ditch the vehicle and transfer on foot, encountering again one of those different zombie variants. Actually, repairing the bus may have been faster, but whatever. And hold on, is that missing textures on his eyes? 0 out of 10. Worst movie with no realism considered. But look, it's the kidnapper. It's time for Jake to make his move. And what happens next is the most oblivious NPC interrogation you'll see today.
Drop the weapon, you son of a bitch!
What do you want?
I want the girl you kidnapped from the bus. Where is she?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't play dumb with me, please! We don't have much. Now take whatever you want, just leave us alone. I just want the girl back.
I thought she was alone, but I sold her to a KOV patrol. In return, the KOV would leave us alone.
You really believe they would do that?
I could at least try.
What's the KOV?
Okay, so there's a lot of things to point out here. One is no one ended up getting hurt. And a new character in this blue shirt appears. There's also a talk during the conversation about this KOV.
What's the KOV?
Which is some kind of military group. I'll talk about it later though. And by that I mean in about 2 minutes. For now, all the guy does is show Jake the general direction of its headquarters. There is where Hope lies. Wait, what about the kidnapper? He's still here? Oh, okay, I guess he's just gonna let him go now. Friendship is magic, I guess. Before you think it's all sunflowers and friendship though, another raid begins to ensue. But it isn't a part of the original raiders. It's the KOV. And they proceed to completely destroy their base in seconds. Not only that, but along with Hope, the civilian and Jake ends up getting kidnapped as well. If you're wondering where Boot, Harry, and Gasman are, they're somewhere on top of a hill, before also they themselves get kidnapped too. We're now back in Jake's mind. However, this isn't the same dream of his. In fact, it's not actually a dream at all. It's a scene of him 10 years back, right when the infection happens. He is strapped to a chair by Metro Police, who are experimenting on him to try and find some kind of cure. But it soon fails as zombies wreck the room. Jake ends up surviving, not before seeing that creature we saw back in Season 1 though. He wakes up after the blackout, and now is back in the foggy city. By now, the zombies have taken full force, and the city is now a ghost town, but is fortunately rescued by a familiar face, Harry.
Guys!
It's now 10 years back in the present. The KOV appear to have put them in a cage, and now we get answers for what the KOV is exactly. This is Jericho, the leader of the KOV, and he's the Dark Days villain for Season 2. I'll let him explain what's going on.
Now, when everyone's awake, I wanna welcome you to the KOV. My name is Jericho, and this is Hank. Together with all of my other soldiers, we are the KOV. Kings of the Wasteland. Because that's what we are. What do you want? I want you to choose. Do you want to be a part of the KOV? Or do you not?
Some bad news also is told from Boot. Remember in Season 1 when he got ambushed by a head crab and was starting to cough afterwards? Yeah, the guy's infected. I'm absolutely sure everyone knew that, but now it's starting to get even worse. Jake tries to get Jericho to help him, but he doesn't take orders from him. How scary. However cruel though, Jericho does let them out and into their stronghold. There they will remain for a very long time. While everyone else gets to go out to wander the base, Jake, because of his behavior, is sent to the Game of the Dead. I'm sure you know where this will lead.
Let the game begin! No, Jake! No, this is crazy! What's wrong with you people?
Oh my god. And the game is on.
Yes! Fantastic!
Well, the stranger can find.
Jake is once again rebelling against Jericho, and now tensions get even higher when the discussion of Hope is brought up.
You bastard! Fuck! I really like you guys. There's a great spark. I do have men pointing their guns at you from almost everywhere. So what are you gonna do?
Yes, man, watch out!
Oh my fucking head.
They surprisingly don't kill the two. Well, it's not actually surprising, they're the main characters of course. But he does say to Jake that they will release Hope from captivity on one condition. Gasman must go out into the wasteland, alone and unarmed.
If he returns to the stronghold in 2 days, your girl will be set free.
With no other option, he decides to accept.
Gasman.
Yes, man, be careful. I know you can do it, man. Be careful out there.
Oh, my fucking head. Come on, Jake, think.
Jake is having the same dream again, but this time it's starting to get a lot more detailed. He soon decides to talk to Harry about it, and how he saw this creature at the end of his dream. Harry, as we knew back in Season 1, has a near identical dream to him.
When I dreamed about Tony, it was there.
There must be some sort of connection. Ah, my head is killing me.
Sure, we're gonna see Gasman again.
Gasman's survivability seems low now out in the wasteland. If the heat or radiation won't kill him, it'll be the zombies or the rogues. Thankfully for him, he does end up finding shelter. At first, it looks empty. Look, there's even a desert eagle. Just kidding! Oh no! A suicide bomber! And now, the spooky zombies surround him. He does a pretty good job of killing them, up until he runs out of ammo on one last zombie. Just then, when things look grim,
oh, buddy, you don't want to hang around here. Come on, I know a place much safer.
Now, if you hate people with over-the-top British accents, you're gonna hate the rest of this series. This posh little British boy is James, who is surprisingly nice to Gasman. He seems to know his way around the wasteland. After a fascinating conversation with a mute, he decides to show him back to his place. Now, in any other situation where an aging British male is luring you back into his apartment, you'd probably freak out. But in the zombie apocalypse, I guess it's fine.
James the Wastelander.
Back at the stronghold, Jake is still trying to figure out where Sarah is. Hope. Jericho keeps telling him that he'll see her once Gasman returns, albeit they both think it's impossible. I also just love how Jericho is out in the middle of the base with little to no security. It's a subtle nod to how powerful he truly is, how conditioned he's made his people. He's out here knowing full well that no one would dare attack him, even in a vulnerable position. And combined with all the guards keeping an eye on everyone in the distance, he doesn't really need immediate protection or bodyguards, becoming so comfortable that he just sits wherever he wants. Jake obviously chooses not to attack him, storming off instead. However, he shouldn't be getting too comfortable right now. A guard goes up to him and tells him that Jake is getting people talking.
I've heard the people talk about him. They admire him.
Oh really? Then it's gonna be much more fun to bring him down.
Bring him down?
This doesn't frighten him one bit though. Meanwhile, we start to know a little bit more about Todd.
How'd you end up in the wasteland? Long story. We were only 3 when we ran into this group of people on our way through the wasteland. And they told us there's nothing beyond it. So, you believed them?
Wait a minute!
Can you believe it's been 10 years since the outbreak began?
Something ain't right!
Wait, that doesn't add up. If he was only 3 when he arrived in the wasteland, and the apocalypse began 10 years ago, that would make him 13 when I made the Teletubby video? Alright, Xander, whatever. We'll just pretend that he's 13 or something, I don't know. I guess the zombies have aged him considerably.
It was nice to sleep. I feel a little better now.
Good.
Jake.
Yes?
My name is Robert. Please come with me. And take your friends with you too.
Xander really likes to make people get lured by mysterious old men into following them.
I'm Amanda.
But thankfully, it's just a message that the guy wanted to tell.
Oh, I like that joke.
Oh, and as for this guy, his name is Robert. I think of all the characters that we'll meet in the Dark Days, Robert has got to be the one that will change the most throughout the series. Yes, we are going to see him more in the future. I can't explain how his character further develops into the future, but just know that he's much more laid back in Season 2 and is quite friendly to Jake. He tells him that everyone in the Stronghold is totally down for a revolution. However, he at first disagrees.
No, I can't. If we fail, Jericho is probably gonna kill him right in front of me. Along with Harry, and you, and Hope, everyone. No, I can't risk that.
But we might pull it off. We need you. It's not like we don't know the consequences.
I just can't.
But just when things were already getting bad for Jake about starting a whole rebellion, something much more worse happened just inside.
Jericho, what are you doing?
He could be infected.
No! Jericho, no!
Jake, don't. Listen to me. Thank you for everything. And bring me into your group.
No.
I'm glad you did.
Not like this.
You gave me friendship and you gave me hope. No! Food! Oh God, no!
The killing of Boot was so overkill, so cruel, that even Hank questions Jericho's actions.
Capable of holding a weapon means better protection.
The stronghold is fine. Don't you ever question me again. Without me, this place would be nothing but a memory.
Alas, he isn't the one taking orders here. Jake, now at the corpse of a friend going all the way back to Season 1, changes his mind. He's all in for a revolution.
Amen.
Nothing here but rubbish, my friend.
Gasman and the British Snob try to scavenge for some loot. They hear some distant gunfire.
Did you hear that? I guess he did.
Going towards the gunfire, always a good idea. They find a rebel high above an infested ground. James decides to help him out, and Gasman follows along. They get him back to the safe house. But now, because the zombies were following them, they have to make a last stand.
We're going to have to make a last stand.
Because of Hank questioning Jericho's motives of killing Boot, he's tied up to a chair now and won't be released unless he lives by Jericho's side. At first, he resists.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
But once given the choice of death, he finally submisses.
Do you mind if I join you?
No, not at all.
Meanwhile, at Robert and Jake's, Robert gives some huge lore because he's also seen the creature just like Jake and Harry, the one in the dreams. And we get a flashback of exactly when.
During the outbreak. During the outbreak? I heard the firing guns in the streets. Right at me, and then it disappeared. What the? Oh, this place again.
Harry! The boss won't protect you. The stronghold will fall. And soon you will all be dead.
Oh, balls. Oh, shit.
Alright, recap. Robert and Jake are together, Harry is told the stronghold will fall to Tony, and James, Gasman, and the new guy start fighting a horde of zombies.
Make sure you wear your balls on the right way, guys. This is it.
For multiple minutes, zombies without the head crab storm James's base. Thankfully, everyone seems to be quite skilled in killing the zombies. In one of the shots, the rebel just straight up dual-hands a suppressed pistol and SMG. And Gasman grabs a harpoon.
Screaming in public road,
Finally, all of the zombies die. Oh, and we now know the name of this person.
What's your name?
My name is Dave.
Hank, Jericho's soldier as we know it, is again watching Jake and Robert. Ever since Harry woke up, he's been extremely on edge and needs to talk to Jake about it.
I need to talk to you.
Hey Robert, will you give us a minute?
Yeah, of course. I've seen Tony again.
He keeps trying to explain about Tony, how he will soon come to the stronghold and burn it all down. Jake, even though he has similar dreams, and that Robert has them too, as he tells Harry.
I've just recently found out that Robert has also seen that creature. But what I don't understand is what Tony has to do with all of this.
Calls it utter nonsense and just wants him to stop overreacting. This is one of the few rare scenes where Harry is really trying to push Jake. He keeps trying to say that this dream with Tony is real.
And what if it's not? What about your own dream, Jake? It turned out to be a memory, for Christ's sake. I'm not willing to take this chance. Something feels very wrong and I just know something will happen.
Getting out of here is our highest priority. So don't fill your head with all this nonsense.
But of course, Jake doesn't buy it.
Are we clear?
James offers Dave to stay in his trailer if he'd like, but he says no as he has to find his girl, someone named Kate. Apparently they both got separated by the KOV, and well...
Now she's somewhere out there by herself.
Hold on. Why don't you let us help find her? I mean, there's going to be a bigger chance of finding her if we split up and search different areas of the wasteland.
James, again being surprisingly nice, wants to help Dave. They plan to split up around the wasteland to find her. Not sure if that's the best idea, but it's a zombie series, so splitting up was always bound to happen. Before going, they take a quick ammo break for the night.
Me too.
Hank still needs to prove that he's a valuable member of the KOV, and for the last test, he has to kill a random innocent bystander they kidnapped.
Kill him.
Hank at first doesn't shoot as he begs for his life. But he needs to get promoted again, so...
Alright, that wasn't so hard, was it?
Today is when the gang splits up. Gasman watches as they both depart, and he soon follows. In James's view, he gets to see some sort of headcrab feeding. It's quite gross. However...
Oh noes! He got caught lacking!
Oh wait, never mind.
Wait, oh no, she got caught lacking!
That's just not fair.
Dave roams the wasteland just like the other two. He ended up finding the same creature we saw kill Hope's dad back in the early parts of the season.
What the...
It seems to have been experimented on, perhaps tortured. Dave decides to torture it even more though with gas. Speaking of gas, Gasman is near an abandoned train yard. Like Dave, encountering a creature we saw half an hour back. Gasman finds the same type of zombie he found in the gas station at the very first episode of the season. A few seconds later, he hears a vehicle nearby. It's the same one Hank was in to kill the random bystander. They even glimpse at each other briefly at the end. James somehow, well, I say somehow, but it's plot armor, survived several headcrabs. He nearly got killed by two of them, but a girl with a katana saved his life.
Thank you. Well, I guess you're Kate.
What?
I'm not sure how James immediately knew it was Kate, but...
Whoa, calm down, Jesus.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
My name is James the Wastelander. I'm with Dave.
Dave?
Actually, where is Dave? Oh, he's having a badass moment with himself.
Oh my god, no fair! How come Dave gets a 10 out of 10 goth depressed build, and none of us peasants do? I can fix it.
A bell rings suddenly.
What's going on? It's the food bell.
Except instead of normal food lines, it's whoever gets it first. A fight of course ensues to whoever gets the food. Harry sees a stray can, but someone jumps him.
He reached across and he took my slice!
Fortunately for Harry, but unfortunately for the other guy, Jake comes to save the day, nearly killing him.
Jake! You're killing him!
Everyone is getting to know each other in James's trailer. We learn that James has actually been in the wasteland for as long as he can remember. He probably doesn't even remember his last name. Multiple times throughout the series, he just calls himself James the Wastelander.
My name is James the Wastelander.
And it's because of this that when the topic of leaving the wasteland is brought up, he finds it hard to do.
Do you want to come with us?
I don't know, Dave. A part of me is dying to get out of here. Screaming to, actually. While the other just wants to stay.
James also reassures that Gasman is trustworthy, despite not saying a single word.
But, I don't know, I guess I have a good feeling about him. We can trust him, I know that much.
By this point, Kate is off to bed, as it's getting late outside. Before James and Dave soon follow, James asks an important question.
Dave, what brought you to the wasteland?
I'm looking for something. Something I've been looking for in a long time.
And, well, forgive me for prying, but what is this you're looking for, Dave?
I'm looking for this.
Jake still feels guilty about beating that random NPC up. Like a YouTube apology though, he tends to say we when referring to the problem.
We're all victims of the same enemy, placed in the same cage. And instead of working together, we fight each other for their entertainment.
Robert tells him that it's normal to feel that way, and eventually through time he'll learn to hide the anger. Real. He also lets him know of a story named Damien. He was one of Robert's friends, but recently was taken by the KOV out in the wasteland. He hasn't returned since.
He disappeared yesterday. Jericho knows.
What?
He told me that he knew about the resistance, just after he killed my friend.
Oh, wait.
Please don't do this! I beg you!
Okay, so that guy was Damien. Damn, he got even less screen time than Jones. Before the episode ends, Jake says this.
We should do it today.
What?
Fight back. Not tomorrow. Today.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, James.
Dave is still not trustworthy of Gasman at all. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but technically James doesn't know much about Dave and Kate either. Turns out, Gasman randomly left the trailer and Kate followed him.
Okay, so they're both out there?
Well, obviously, yes.
James says we can catch up with them, but before doing so, he's still curious about the photo. James thinks Dave might be hiding something. Eventually, he says he'll tell him more about it, but later. Knowing the people in the wasteland, you'd think the bus would have been long gone by now. But no, it's still right there. This time flooded with zombies. Now, I think you may have noticed this in the past couple episodes, but I'll point this out now. It's around this time in the series where Xander is starting to use much more animations, rather than player movements and ragdolls. Season 1 was pretty much nothing but either of the two. It was only until the very end of Season 1 that Xander started to play with animating. They weren't very good. But now, as you can see with Gasman killing the zombies, Xander has improved majorly with animating the characters, and it's only gonna get better from here.
Hey, fuck you, mate!
Without much trouble, Gasman gets the diesel, petrol, my bad, with Kate watching.
Harry, we've been looking all over for you. What are you doing?
Oh, hey Todd. I'm just trying something.
You do know you're standing where most people go to take a piss, right?
Oh, shit!
Today is when Jake wants to begin the revolution. Everyone naturally calls him out for it, saying that they just need to wait one more day in case Gasman comes back. But then, this happens.
He is alive.
What the?
Your friend is alive. I've seen him in the wasteland.
Why should we trust you?
Naturally, when the thought of him joining is brought up, they all refuse. But when Hank says he can easily give them all the weapons they need, Robert tells them to go get them.
Is there anything I can do to gain your trust?
Yes, there is. Bring us some guns.
The four managed to get the bus working. Well, Gasman got it to work.
I have no idea what to do.
I also love this neat little detail where Kate, Dave, and James don't realize that the bus actually belongs to Gasman. They just assumed it appeared out of nowhere.
You don't know how grateful I am that you have found this.
They need to park one last stop at the trailer to get the supplies they need. But James also says they can easily board up the bus for defense. It would take the entire day, but no one's complaining.
And I suggest we get to work.
So, as it turns out, Jake is extremely sensitive. He's starting to say that Harry has gone mad ever since the whole dream thing.
He's been acting very strange lately. I'm concerned. I think he's beginning to lose it.
But when Todd says,
"Look who's talking,"
he storms off immediately. Speaking of Harry, just a few feet away, he's trying to access the dream world again. And this time around, it begins to work.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Shit, 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 shit. Oh, shit. Okay, let's try again. Oh my god, it worked. It worked. Tony? What the? How did you get in here? I knew it. This was not just a dream. Tony, what is this place? Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Oh god. Fuck. Shit.
Okay, look, don't worry. Things are again about to be super cool and magical, and I think Tony has now got himself. But after Season 2, it will go back to a mostly grounded reality. Just let the anime shit get out of the way first, and yeah. Oh, and where's Jake and Todd?
I didn't mean to. No, I'm sure you didn't mean to say that. They're alone to get me and my friends into this mess in the first place. And how exactly is that my fault?
Your crew kidnapped a girl that I swore to protect. And you blame me? How dare you? Who else should I blame? What kind of people do that? He kidnapped a soldier to try to protect his crew. Oh, so you're actually alright.
If this operation is going to have the slightest chance of success, you two need to pull your act together. Just give me a little more time.
Listen, I'm sorry. After coming here and after all that's happened, I just feel so angry all the time. I'm sorry too. We shouldn't fight each other before a task like this. We need to stay focused on the operation. Hank. What? His name is Hank.
The revolution is going to begin any minute now. But in the meantime, Dave ends up finding fuel on the bus for them to use. Wait, what? If there was a full can of gas randomly found in the back of the bus, then why didn't the original group use it when the bus stopped in the first place? The only reason any of this happened was because the bus stopped and now Hope is gone. What? Am I missing something? Oh my bad, I guess they just forgot the entire stash of gas they got at the gas station. Okay, well, it's too late now. And besides, there's about 20 minutes of screen time left. So yeah, they all get the bus nearly finished and they all take a break. Well, everyone except for Gasman.
You wanna know why he's not taking a break?
because he's an Ultra Alpha Sigma God who listens to David Goggins' intro rooping podcast clips on TikTok. Always grind.
So have you ever done DMT?
At the Stronghold, Harry rambles on to Robert about his dreams since Jake won't let him.
Yesterday. But what I got to talk to you about it. Jake told me that you've had dreams too, but Tony was there, and he was angry.
Who's Tony?
Oh, it's this guy from our group who shot me in the leg, and then we tied him to a chair to get some medicine, and then the house was on fire, and now I see him in my dreams where he talks to me.
Oh.
Well, it was nice talking to you, Robert, but there's something I have to do. Talk to you later.
What the hell just happened?
Back at the trailer, they're just about finished with their break, with Dave talking about how he met Cave at a previous fort. And who would have guessed, Gasman's gone. However, it makes sense at his point. Remember, Gasman got banished to the wasteland for a couple of days, and if he returned, Hope would be safe. Gasman's been keeping track of the day, and now it's time to return back. Of course, in his character, he made sure not to say goodbye.
That's strange.
But Kate sees his footprints, so they chase after anyways.
Let's follow his footsteps.
Gasman is just about to return to the Stronghold, but as you'll soon see, he's gonna end up returning at a very bad time. It all starts normal. Harry and Jake talking to the fire, comforting each other. Jake questions why Gasman would even try to come back, having heard he's still alive by Hank.
I'm just not sure why he would even return. There's nothing here to return to.
His friends are here. Maybe we're trapped and things don't exactly look so good, but we're still here, right?
Thanks.
But just then...
It's Sarah! Jake! Jake?
A whole chain of sequences are about to occur, so I'll just shut up and let it play out.
Little prick!
Not so fast, Jericho. No!
You will die like everyone else.
What the?
Every man to that post! Stop!
Everyone! Grab a weapon! And I mean everyone!
Gasman hears the gunfire. It's hell, even from a distance. The three of them somehow catch up, and catch a glimpse of the raid as well.
I haven't seen an attack like this since back at Fort Nelia.
You've actually seen something like this before?
While James and Kate have no clue what's going on, Dave instantly recognizes this from presumably another attack he experienced in the past. Seeing how otherworldly the attack is, he probably assumes that the creature in the photo is the one responsible for this. The only reason he's in the wasteland is because he needs to find the creature.
I'm looking for this.
So, he decides to go over there. Gasman also needs to get to the Stronghold, but for other reasons.
Dave, come back!
I wasn't prepared for this.
I don't think any of us was prepared for this.
What the hell?
Everyone, get inside!
The wooden roof seems to be doing a surprisingly good job of protecting them from the meteorites. And then it stops.
We should get back out there.
Everyone to their posts! Now it's time to fight or die! Get moving!
Everyone gets back outside, prepared for the next wave. No one fights each other, neither the soldiers or the citizens. Hell, even Jericho and Jake, they're both right beside each other shooting the zombies together.
Shut up!
It's not like they have much of a choice. Oh, and Hope is back, alive and well. But you want to know who isn't? Todd.
Watch out!
Todd, no!
Sorry, my friend.
The mysterious creature we saw also came to invade, and for some reason, it's that led Jericho to run away. But Jake doesn't let it slide. After all, he's the leader.
No, you don't.
Harry, in the background, runs back to the house. He's trying to get back into the world again. It seems like a bad idea, given the time, but it's kind of smart.
Okay.
Because Tony is still there.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
So, he has an idea.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh crap.
We're going to kill you, Harry.
Dave, shut up and listen to me. What possible reason could you have to go on a suicide mission like this? It's to do with that photo.
The last few minutes of this season is constant warfare, so I'll keep commentary at a low and just let you experience some of the highlights.
Look, I have my reasons. You can either stay here or go with me.
I don't know why you have to do this, but I'll be by your side no matter what.
You're all mad! Absolutely barking insane!
James, we could really use another man.
I can drive you down there. From then on, you're on your own. Alright, everyone get ready for impact!
Just go find whatever you're looking for. Hey there.
What the hell is this place?
Oh look, we're underground now. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention about the underground part of the stronghold. Before the revolution, Todd told us that citizens would go down there when they got punished, including Hope. And he said that once down there, no one ever returned.
I wouldn't like to be taken down there. Once you're down there, we'll never see you again.
So, here it is.
Sorry guys, I truly am.
Wake up!
So now Harry is back up, Todd is dead, James abandoned the group, and Gasman tries to help Hope. Just when he wakes up though, Tony finds Harry and launches into the window, but Dave sees.
What are you?
I am a god! A god!
I found you. What have you done?
What are you talking about? I killed him, you asshole!
God damn it!
Hey, what's wrong?
All hope seems to dwindle by this point. But James, with a change of heart, goes back into the war zone.
Tired of hiding, you sons of bitches. Now is my chance.
He came back.
Come on, you have to make a move now. Move forward and keep firing.
All seems well. Everyone might get saved. But back at Jake's, this happens.
This way, Jericho. It has always been this way. This is no place souls, Jake. Such a waste. Could have been so much more than just a rebel, a pointless seed. You could have been by my side, but you're too stubborn. I could have made you strong. And to think, you brought Hank down to your level. Truly baffles me.
Jericho.
Hank!
The stronghold is burning. And what do? Our mighty leader crawls back into his cave. You lived a coward, and you're going to die a coward! It's over, Jericho.
It will never be over!
What did he do to you?
Nothing.
It looked to me like he was...
It's nothing, alright?
I mean, seriously, no amount of commentary would do the ending justice. Like I said, go watch The Dark Days for yourself. It's by this point, the series went from an amateur, late 2000s, what was essentially a Gmod roleplay, to what now seems to be something much more. More actors, better animating, higher quality. There were holes in the script writing, and some scenes, even without the nostalgia goggles, just kind of looked off. But no doubt did Xander put what I can only assume was months into this project. And I think by this point, years. And just when things got good, a cliffhanger. Nah, I'm just joking. Season 3 is here. Actually, you probably knew that from the whatever.
Because if it wasn't for this one guy, this video would have ceased to exist.
Actually, I lied. This video couldn't exist without another friend I made in Gmod in late 2017. Because before I met Dylan, I had another online friend that I would roleplay with. We've both gone through many Steam names over the years, and since we never knew each other's real names, unlike Dylan, I've only known him as Lasagna Enthusiast as of writing this. If Dylan was the one that got me into the Dark Days after we met roleplaying on Gmod, Lasagna is the one that got me into roleplaying on Gmod in the first place. Sometimes we included Half-Life characters, but we mostly used the TF2 mercs for our adventures. I can just remember getting off of school, and the first thing I wanted to do back then was just hop onto Gmod and text him if he wanted to make a Gmod story with me. Thankfully, 2017 and 18 me saved these screenshots I took on Steam. I'm grateful for that, because anytime I can look back on these, and remember all the characters that me, Lasagna, and later Dylan made. Sometimes he even comments on past screenshots years later, reflecting on how much time has passed. Besides our love for Gmod, I actually don't know that much else about Lasagna. But even though we haven't talked in half a decade, I'm glad he was there to keep me occupied for the time. At that point, I had no one else that I could talk to for hours on end. If that sounds sad, it might, but without him, I wouldn't have talked to Dylan nearly as much, ergo, I wouldn't have seen The Dark Days, ergo, this documentary wouldn't exist. Fun fact, did you know that I've always wanted to make this video for years? Here's an unlisted trailer that I'll probably make public once this video comes out. It came out in October 2021.
And according to the description, I've always wanted to make this video for months. And look, here's the original script for the Darkies video, made in November 2021. I think it was the sheer length of the series that scared me into making it earlier, which I'm glad I did start early, because 14-year-old me would have been narrating instead of me now.
Was made on September 3rd, 2019.
Here's a timeline of the Dark Days project as I'm writing this video. So you have the trailer and script in late 2021. I actually did voice a little bit of the script in January 2022, which thankfully again didn't go anywhere. It was only until June of 2023 that I actually for real started to work on the project. Progress went by actually really fast. I managed to get the entirety of season 1 down to the month. But eventually my brain must have shut down, because although I've given the illusion of working on this video for a year, I actually completely halted the project in August to go work on other videos. I thought it would be just a short little break. However, I wouldn't begin work on the project again until April of 2024. Wow. Work has been consistent since April. As of writing this, it's June 2024, an entire year later after production. But hey, I got season 2 done. Just one more season to go. Add a bit of polish around the rough corners, add music, memes, and sound effects, and hopefully this comes out by the end of the year. I promised Dylan that this video would have came out in like late 2023 to early 2024, but now it's mid 2024 and I'll just see where progress takes me. Alright, okay, I've been rambling too much. This only is gonna bloat my script more if I don't shut up. So if there's a moral you can take from this, to the people that say, oh, online friends aren't real friends, fuck you. That is complete 100% bullshit. I briefly mentioned back in Season 2 how the characters' animations were getting better and better. I say this because this is the magnum opus of the Dark Days. And in my opinion, Season 3 is the best season by far. It still holds that classic Gmod charm, only now with the characters moving, being more lively, their mouths now move to talk, and finally not being a pixelated mess, made on a 12p quality webcam. Everything is now starting to look a lot more professional, and the story doesn't really fall or take a dive. If anything, it's about to get a lot better. So stay with me here. Please get off the subway surfers. Season 3, the final season of this amazing series, doesn't start like how the previous 2 seasons begun traditionally. It's a flashback of an unnamed man underground in a laboratory. You may have noticed that the quality seemed to have taken a sudden dive. That's because doing the slightest bit of research shows that what's playing is the short film The Infection, the prequel to the Dark Days. I briefly mentioned it like an hour ago, but I might as well just explain what it is now. In the description, it states, an old video that me and Hippie created one weekend, many years ago. It would later be connected to a series I created, called The Dark Days. The premise of the video is that an experiment is in the making far beneath the surface in a science lab.
What kind of life form? We can create any kind of life form using DNA from different species of humans and animals. Our first and newest kind of creature is some kind of a parasite, but we will soon test it in different labs.
And how does this affect the government?
Well, you see, Mr. President.
I'm sure you can guess what the experiment was, and I'm sure you can guess what happened after.
I have to get in there. I have to get in there and see what happens.
You can't do that. It's forbidden. It's dangerous.
But I have to see what happens in there.
Shut up, boy. I know what I'm doing.
Doctor, look!
Well,
Fuck! Shit! Comparing the start of Season 3 and the Infection film, Season 3 added a few new scenes. For example, the scientist is nearly killed by a zombie, when all of a sudden, he gets saved by diesel mail? You might also notice something even stranger than that later in the next scene. Soldiers have arrived to take care of the zombies, resembling the HECU from Half-Life. But considering that creatures like the zombies and even the Stalker aren't related to the Half-Life 2 counterparts, it's probably non-canon as well. However, not only are the soldiers getting swarmed by zombies, but another group of soldiers dressed in black and gas masks are shown attacking the other soldiers, destroying their tanks.
You scientists, get your ass in the helicopter!
Okay, so a mystery has already been spawned just from the scene alone. Why are the soldiers in black attacking the army instead of the zombies? But I want to go a bit further back to this scene. Gasman has always been a mysterious character. We've been given the illusion of getting to know him since he's been here since the very beginning, but other than knowing he's friendly to his peers, we still know nothing about him. Remember, we don't even know his name, we don't know what his motives are, what he sounds like, how he ended up in the city, and now...
This? What is this?
This just raises more questions than answers. So, judging from this, we can semi-conclude that Gasman served as a soldier trying to stop the infection. This explains why he was really good at killing zombies solo in the first place, like how he makeshift a car into an explosive trap. He's a combat soldier. But which side was he fighting for? He doesn't look like either of the two factions we saw. He has a gas mask, just like the army in black, but he's equipped with a blue uniform. So, I guess he's on his own, or maybe he's a commander or something?
I don't know.
Whatever his motives are, he's the reason the scientist survived. And now... he's back home? Damn, he didn't get interrogated by the army. He was just allowed to go home. Okay, good for him.
Hey, it's me.
He rings up his friend on the phone who works for the police, named Adrian.
Listen, Adrian, I have to talk to you, in person.
I'm on the job. You know that I can't just leave whenever I want to.
It's important. There was an accident at the facility, and the military moved...
Shit, Dave, I have to go. I'll be at your place as soon as I'm off. I promise.
The scientist is revealed to be Dave 10 years later. I'm sure you might have guessed since they have the same face, but yeah. He's staring at Jake, who looks just like the cop Adrian. Wait. What?
Jake, thank God!
Harry!
I thought we lost you, man. Gasman returned, and I killed Tony.
Harry, slow down. What?
Come on, man, I'll show you.
My God. It's really him.
I told you, man. I know it seems crazy, but it felt so real every time I saw him.
I don't know what's real anymore. You. Dave?
Say what?
Yeah, Harry is just as confused.
I would have never thought this is where I'd see you again.
I thought you died. On that bridge.
I almost did. We have a lot of catching up to do, old friend.
Yeah. I guess we have.
And now they're friends again. Hooray! Only now a zombie apocalypse has begun, they're now in their early 30s, and Dave got an Eastern European goth wife, while Jake is a lonely Reddit nation gooner. Now that the chaos has settled down, with no zombies or other survivors in sight, the two groups collide and meet each other. It starts out all friendly, until...
Oh, son of a bitch!
Wait, no!
Don't you see he's with the KOW?
He's not like the others. He's with us.
I see. Would you mind telling me who the hell you are?
My name is Jake.
Okay then, Jake. Let's get one thing clear, and I will not repeat this. I will not take one of those thugs onto my bus.
That bus is ours!
Not anymore. With the food we've got and him to feed, we'd only last 2 days out there.
I know where we can find food.
Enough to last a few weeks, even with all of us on board. It's locked up down in the bunker. We just have to work together.
Problem solved. Gasman. I knew you would come back.
What's down there?
I actually don't know. I never got to see that part of this bunker.
I feel like I've seen this place before.
I wonder if Dave mentions that because of how the place looks. See, looking at the prequel to The Dark Days and the Labyrinth in Season 2, they look almost the exact same. These two shots are taken 10 years apart, according to Tony anyways. What if the area that Hank never went to
I never got to see that part of this bunker.
is the elevator that goes down to where it all started? What if the Stronghold, the place that was made to help protect refugees from the infection, is the same place that caused it?
But hey...
Alright, we're in business. There's enough food in here to take us far away from the wastelands.
After Hank opens the gate for the supplies, it's time to finally get out of the wasteland, to hopefully find something greater. One thing Xander did amazingly with each season is give each one a great theme, a great setting. Season 1 was all about taking place in an abandoned city, Silent Hill-esque like. A city that was coated in a white fog that never went away. Season 2 was about the wasteland, a sunny, hostile place with the few survivor and refugee settlements being made of scrap, wood, and metal to hold off the zombies. There's been brief intermission environments in between seasons. Parts of the series where they move from one location to the other, showing just a narrow glimpse of what other places on Earth look like 10 years later. Knowing how grim the last two seasons were, how hostile they looked despite being different, how lonely and isolated they appeared, where do you think Season 3's setting takes place? Oh, why a vibrant and friendly, lush green forest. Okay, cool.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Damn! It's been way too long since I felt the grass between my toes.
The group seems to be just as relieved they ended up here as well. While a much more friendlier environment, they still need to make a plan on how they'll survive out here. And look, James and Jake make it up.
The last couple of years I've been trying to get out of the City of Mists, along with Boot, Gasman and Harry. And we ended up at the KOW.
Boot? Oh, there's an unfortunate name if I ever heard one.
One of my old friends. For all I knew, we wouldn't survive another hour.
Oh, I understand. I'm sorry I asked.
I'm glad to have you with us. I haven't been in such a large group in years.
You see, I haven't been with anyone but myself for as long as I can remember. I guess I'm going to have to get used to this. Oh, God. There's a big forest. There can't be too many of them out here, right?
I don't know. Let's just get back to the others.
It's starting to get dark. How do I know? Because of the greasy purple filter attached to the screen. Yeah, there probably isn't a nighttime version of this map, so this is the closest Xander could have made it to being dark.
What happened on that bridge?
Why do they call you Jake?
That's... Do you remember my real name?
What happened to you, man?
I got asked the same about you.
Your real name is Adrian.
Oh, so that's what happened. Remember how Jake got his memory wiped? As you know, it made him forget his own name. So now, this is going to be weird doing this an hour and a half in, but I guess I'll be calling him Adrian now. They can't get too deep in conversation, because the zombie nature convention suddenly showed up. Who knows?
Ah, god damn it! Where the hell are they? Shit!
Well, why don't you help us out then?
Ah, shit, sorry.
Deciding to retreat to the bus, they turn it back on and get out of there.
Well, about bloody time. Where were you two? Picking daisies? Get on!
Boys, get on!
Behind you!
Hey! Oh shit! Cover him!
Thank you.
I guess that makes us even.
Sure.
We have to leave now.
Although they nearly got ambushed by more zombies and made the hopes of a forest haven look grim, suddenly, good times shoot right back up, because along their journey, they found an abandoned house. They check it, making sure it's 100% safe, but other than James saying there's some corpses to clean out in the basement,
it feels very cold and smells bad.
That's about it. It may as well be a mansion. 3 stories, each room in excellent condition. Heck, there's even a personal bar that catches Harry's attention. As long as they begin to fortify the place, it looks like they can live in this house for a long time. The group has never had this much of a break before, so good times are coming, it looks like. Wait,
Right.
what's this?
Oh.
Jake?
Are you alright, man?
It's back to Dave and Adrian 10 years ago.
I knew this is where I'd find you. Dave.
Since Adrian didn't go to Dave's place, he decides to just tell him what happened at the bar. Again, kind of surprising that the military let him go, knowing the stories he'd tell, but whatever.
I saw a lot of people die. And I saw a lot of people coming back to life.
Obviously, upon hearing him witness man-made parasites breach and kill everyone, Adrian is a little confused. Dave concludes that the men in black must have been some kind of terrorist group.
That's one hell of a first date. Don't worry, I'm fine.
Right, I'm just gonna go and get the supplies.
Everyone in the group got a little skeptical, but overall, they went back to their business. Everyone except Hank, who saw Jake get injected by Jericho back at the stronghold. Hank wonders what Jake is gonna do, since he knows he's infected. He knows eventually he'll be, well... But he says eventually that he'll tell the group at, quote, the right time. For now, he wants to keep good times up and running, and they begin fortifying the place. Everyone splits up to go find supplies they need to use for barricade. Robert, James, and Dave are back on the bus, and they discuss the whole Jake infected thing. James and Dave are cautious, but otherwise passive, but it's only Robert that believes he's lying. Eventually, Robert pushes Dave to snap. He tries to help, saying, "Oh, but there might be a cure."
We'd have to kill him.
Unless we find a cure.
There is no cure.
You don't know that.
Shut up, Robert! Why don't you tell me where to find it then? And if there wasn't any cure behind those walls, I'm pretty sure we won't find it in any of these trees. Or anywhere near this place. Look where we are!
James needs help finding supplies, so brings along Hank and Robert again. Gasman would come, but...
Ah, I see. She'll be fine as long as she stays inside, my friend.
Hey, man.
Dave wants to be reassured that Jake isn't infected, and again, he says no.
Robert is concerned about you, but he doesn't have anything to worry about. Right?
That's right.
I'm glad. I don't want to lose you once more.
This definitely won't be a problem later in the series.
Man, this is quiet. Not a bastard in sight.
Don't jinx it, man.
Without any issues, they find an old shack with some wood in it that they can use to protect themselves. Robert is still trying to push the idea that something's wrong with Jake. He tries asking Hank if anything happened, but Hank too says no, nothing happened.
Right.
On the rooftop back at the house, Kate is sad that her dumb, stupid husband has been keeping secrets from her.
How do you know Jake?
So Dave explains how he met Jake. I mean, Adrian. Okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm calling him Jake. I'm way too far in this to change his name. He also explains the whole deal of running straight into a constant warfare with meteors, attempting to find the mysterious creature that we actually haven't seen in a while.
Where's my dick at?
While Gothwife and Male 05 are arguing on the rooftops, 2 floors below, I guess since Gasman is also mute, Hope has a huge crush on him. She tries to push him romantically. Aww. I think Hope wants to kiss Gasman here, but also is curious of what he may look like. She tries to take off the mask, but
Never let stupid new broad in the way of the progress. Always grind.
Wake up at 1 a.m. in the freezer.
Since we're on the topic of Gasman, Jake finds a piece of paper and pencil, and curious, he gives it to him. For the first time in the entire series, Gasman communicates. And the first thing he writes is...
It really is.
It really is. It really is.
Oh, and he also writes his real name. Gasp! What could it be? Oh.
John. How about that?
You know what? I actually like how simple his name is. You'd think after all this time his real name would be something like
Alexander Lorenzo Oksana King Sir Jr. III, Duke of Iowa.
But no, it's just John. Alright, so recap on each floor. On the roof, Dave and Kate make it up to get vengeance on the creature. The first floor, Jake sits at the bar, contemplating life, I assume.
Ah, what the hell.
The second floor, Hope and John are off screen, hopefully not abusing each other. But on the third floor is Harry.
Tony is dead. There's no point in going back there.
Harry is overrun with thoughts, and finally just decides to get it over with. He's going back into the other world.
Come on. Come on, man. Damn, it's like a funeral in here.
Everything seems fine at first. He does a bit of parkour to investigate a pit. The said pit, however, has smelly dead bodies in it, including himself. The creature is back though, and almost gets him, but thankfully wakes up via jumping off.
I need to stop going there. Period.
Robert still doesn't believe what Jake nor Hank said, which good on him because he's right. But no one else knows for sure, and James tells him not to do anything drastic. Hank is outside, investigating even more crossbow bolts attached to zombies and trees. Someone, possibly even more than one person, is out here.
What the hell?
Meanwhile at the bar, Harry, serving Dave and Jake beer, wonders what will happen once the food stash is gone. Dave has an idea, but is very vague about it. In the end,
Harry, what say you we go for a hunt?
Well, sure.
While still being vague, Harry probably has nothing better to do anyways, so he decides to follow him.
I'll just stay here. Be careful.
I'm always careful.
Hey, Dave, can I ask you something?
Didn't I just tell you to be quiet?
Sorry, but it's been on my mind for some time now. Remember when I killed Tony back at the stronghold?
Who the fuck's Tony?
I love this scene of Harry and Dave walking together. They only just met, but despite not knowing each other, they are connected via Jake. Harry probably sees Dave as some kind of legend, because he only knows him as the guy with Jake on the bridge that's been in his dreams every night for years. He was actually just about to know what happened on that bridge, but...
Now, why did you just jump?
Because I...
Dave? Dave, what
Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Shit. This is bad. This is really bad.
We're back on day 1 of the infection. The city is now panicked because a corpse with a parasite lies on the surface. The other cop is just as confused, and soon the military comes in. Cops, I guess, really aren't above the law, because even the military won't tell them what's going on. For some reason, Jake runs away back to his car. In the end, though, that was a good move, because...
It's open!
Jake immediately gets to Dave's apartment and tells him about the situation. They quickly make a plan on how they'll get out. So they begin packing up.
I'll go pack my shit. Harry? Harry, wake up!
What? Where are we? Oh, my head.
Sweet dreams.
What do you want from us, you bastard?
I'm just gonna ask you a few questions. You think you can handle that?
The main antagonist of Season 1, at least in the later half, was Tony, someone who wanted revenge on his group for being left behind in a fire. Season 2's main antagonist was Jericho, an all-powerful leader of a survivor stronghold, holding its citizens as slaves, ruling over them dictator-like. And this is Season 3's main antagonist, Luke.
We don't plan to be. Unless we have to.
And I'm not a hostile man, unless a stranger refuses to answer a simple question.
It's anyone's opinion which of the 3 Dark Days antagonists was the most evil. But one thing I can say that surely everyone can agree on is that this guy is the edgiest of the 3.
I won't ask again.
And what if I refuse to tell you?
Dave! Hey! Stop! What's the matter with you, man?
Where are your people located?
What?
Don't tell him, Harry! Don't you fucking do it!
Oh! Luke!
This is Olivia, the good cop compared to Luke. While Luke was basically born for the apocalypse, kind of like Jericho, Olivia still wants order and civility running their group, to try and at least give the illusion of a normal civilization. She tries to tell them that other strangers have shown up and weren't very friendly to their group, so this explains the whole hostage thing.
I'm not telling you or any of your brutes shit.
Oh, boo-hoo!
Dave still won't talk though, so Olivia gives him an hour to tell her. Dave apologizes to Harry for bringing him along, but does mention that their group, at least Kate, is absolutely following their tracks.
Something is wrong. He should have been back by now.
Right. Let's go look for him.
And that's exactly what happens.
Maybe he needs help.
Robert stays and wants Hank to stay too to talk, but he ignores his request. Gasman and Hope stay too, so Robert leaves them be to go work on fortifying. By now, I think everyone knows the two have something going on with them.
It seems like they have something going on, or is that just me?
The group is getting close, noticing drag marks implying a kidnapping. Meanwhile at Olivia, we meet another character, her dad.
Olivia! What a pleasant surprise.
Honestly, I love this character in the same way I love Harry so much. Not only is he a key factor for major events later in the season, but more importantly for me, he's very silly.
How many have you had?
Just this one, I swear.
Olivia sees her dad has been drinking, but not for the reasons you might think. He's instead sad about what he calls his work. Here is where another factor of the dad is so important, as he mentions this.
My work was supposed to help our cause, but instead
It wasn't your fault. He knew the risk, and he would have wanted you to continue your work.
And how am I supposed to do that? He was the only one in this camp with a connection to the other world.
I thought you said that was just a theory.
So, otherworld.
Otherworld.
What does he mean by this? According to him, he and a scientist partner of his was working on a theory about a possible otherworld, but then one day, said partner died without us knowing how.
But he always knew. He always knew exactly what to do. It should have been me that day.
We don't know how long ago this was, but ever since then, he's been working solo with little success, and he still misses the days with him. But for some reason...
We found 2 survivors in the forest. We brought them back for questioning, but they aren't talking.
When Olivia mentions the hostages, he gets excited.
I need to speak to the new people, right away!
They're in the cell block. Dad?
You know, in hindsight, I'm surprised we didn't see this one coming.
Let's get back to the house.
Are we just going to leave?
There's no way the 4 of us can infiltrate this place.
We need the rest of the group and a plan. Otherwise, this whole thing, it's suicide.
That's what you said back in the wasteland, but we're still here.
Look, that was different and you know it. We'll get him back, okay? The right way.
Are you guys coming?
Hello there! My name is Nathaniel. I'd just like you to answer a few questions for me.
In a very desperate manner, Nathaniel tells these random strangers about his theory of an overworld. I wonder if he too did this with other hostages before. He of course sounds absolutely crazy. Cutting to Harry though.
Yeah, I've been there.
Harry, what's going on?
Are you sure?
We must get this man to my lab, at once!
Hey, wait a minute!
Don't get any funny ideas.
Wait! What the hell are you gonna do to him?
Just a few tests. Absolutely nothing to worry about.
It's okay, Dave. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Leaving Dave behind, he gets into the lab still confused as ever. Nathaniel is excited though, and vaguely mentions how he can continue his research. Harry questions continuously how his partner died. And finally, still vague, Nathaniel mentions how he sort of died trying to get to the other world by himself.
I'm not going through the same kind of test, am I?
We tried to establish a way for him to travel to the other world by himself.
Harry, knowing he would probably go down the same path as his partner, he takes an opportunity.
While he was over there.
Don't move. I swear to God, I'll kill you where you stand.
You son of a bitch.
No! Please, say it!
Okay.
You can beat me until your hands fall off. Harry? What the hell are you doing here?
I grabbed her gun, Dave, and locked him inside the lab. It was unbelievable. Look, I'm shaking.
Oh my god, I love Harry so much. Now armed, they sneak around the base looking for a way out, beating up a guy pissing along the way.
Legalize nuclear.
They see Olivia and Nathaniel quickly telling everyone about the escape, so now they really have to get going. Their best chance is going on the rooftop and jumping from the fence. But I mean, you didn't think that was gonna work, right?
Dave!
Oh, fuck you!
Shit! Oh, balls.
You're gonna look like a Christmas turkey when I'm done with you.
Oh, balls.
Well, it was fun, Harry. Surviving all 3 seasons up to this point, he was an amazing character, my favorite of the group. Like I said, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been interested in watching season 1 any further. So yeah, this video wouldn't have been made possible without Harry as well. But now, I guess it's his time to go.
What the? Here we go.
Soldiers equipped with gas masks roam the streets. Again, the cops not knowing anything. There's a side scene of a team of 4 going down into a subway and immediately finding a zombie. Their plan is to try and poison the sewers, killing the infected and the hobos. One of the commanders even stumbled upon a nest. The parasites notice though and attempt to kill the soldiers. Meanwhile, the military is on top of the buildings trying to contain the whole situation. But on other buildings is another group of soldiers. Some of them are the same ones we saw in the wasteland. The others just look like the normal military. Some of them are in disguise. Several boxes can be seen, and on the cue of a command, Jake and Dave try to get out of the city, but it's too late. The infection has already broken out. Thankfully, Jake has access to a weapon stash. They have to be quick though because cops are dying. Not to zombies, but...
Tony? Brother, it's me.
Jones? What the hell is going on out there?
You wouldn't believe me, man. We've just gotta get out of here.
Oh my god, it's Jones from season 1! The guy who had 6 seconds of screen time. Getting his hands on a prison key, he helps Tony escape, who I guess was a criminal alongside Jones. So now we know why Tony cared so much about him in the first place, why he turned on the group. Now, if Tony knew that Jake was a part of the same people that imprisoned him and Jones, then that would have been another story.
Come on, man! All I did was take a shit in a church. I was supposed to be out tomorrow. Come on, let's out. Shut up!
Regardless, the two get the weapons they need and get the hell out of the city. The bus arrives to pick up Harry, who is able to get on safe and unharmed. However, Dave is still at ground level, now with a knife to his neck. Trying to reason, saying his group is only fighting to get him and Harry out, Olivia agrees to let him go.
Fine.
Surprisingly, no one dies, and all firing stops, and the group soon gets out of there.
They let you go just like that?
Yeah, just like that. Seems
With
like
Harry and Dave now safe, it's time to make a plan. It soon becomes apparent, perhaps more so of plot armor, that the 9 of them were really good at attacking the base despite being outnumbered. This is because Olivia mentioned to Luke that their own group was running low on resources. Despite only having 9 members in the group, they all have 9 times the amount of weaponry and resources compared to the others. Knowing this imbalance, Jake tries to propose a peace treaty so that no war starts. But before that can happen, Robert, as we know, saw everything. His suspicions were correct. I know I've been letting a lot of scenes drag out without my commentary, but this is probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire series. Nothing is the same past this scene, and I don't think talking over it does the scene justice. So, while everyone agrees or disagrees how they'll handle the other group, Robert intervenes.
If we can make peace with those people, we might not have anything to fear.
I think you know that's not what I meant.
Robert?
No, it's time we let everyone here know the truth.
Don't. You have nothing to support this theory.
Jake is infected.
The fuck is your problem, dude?
Dave.
You told me you were alright.
I lied. Robert is right.
But how?
Jericho injected me with something back at the stronghold.
Wait, ever since the stronghold? Were you ever gonna tell us? I didn't ever expect this kind of carelessness from you.
Hey, let's just calm down for a second.
And you knew all along. I need some air.
I'm sorry, Dave.
Yeah, me too.
Wait, guys.
And now the secret is out. Everyone knows that Jake is a dead man walking.
Harry? Harry, hey.
Harry was upstairs sleeping, so Jake had to go and tell him the news too. Seeing Harry go from his usual happy well-being to shock and sadness makes me sad.
You seem healthy enough.
I feel fine, but it won't last much longer.
Oh, man.
We're now back at the other group, and they can't seem to decide how to approach the first group just like the others. Luke, of course, wants nothing more but for them to die. One of the guys sitting next to him agrees because his brother died amongst the ambush. Olivia and the green shirt guys still remain civil, and reason that they only attacked because they kept their members hostage. Luke is loud, but it's Olivia that eventually convinces him not to call a raid, to keep a low profile. For a few days at least.
You were afraid of how you would react.
No. Ah, this sucks. This really fucking sucks.
So what are we gonna do? I mean, we can't have him around like that. He's a ticking time bomb.
He's a ticking bomb. He's a fucking friend.
No one knows what they're gonna do with Jake. They all know what they have to do eventually, but what now? Just then, all of them get distracted, as just as they were figuring out one trouble, another one walks by their front door.
Hey there! Please don't shoot. I'd simply like to talk to Harry. We have some unfinished work-related business to resolve. I like your house. It's big.
A montage of Dave and Jake driving out of the city ensues. Several cops can be seen fighting the zombies, but it's too late. Besides, some of them are even getting killed by anarchists. They do manage to escape the city and end up somewhere in the forest by the time the car breaks down. Taking a break, they remember that the only reason this is happening is because of the mysterious group that released the parasites out on the streets.
Whoever attacked the facility stole the parasites and turned them into a weapon. But why?
Does it matter?
I guess not.
How did you find us?
Please answer it.
I put a tracker on your bus.
You what?
Nathaniel, using his silly wisdom, is able to convince the group to try and talk to Harry. But Harry wants nothing to do with him anymore.
Oh, hell no! What's he doing here?
With good reason. Nathaniel tries and tries again, but eventually Jake tells him to step down. So Nathaniel explains to Jake why exploring the other world is so important.
If Harry is telling the truth, we could finally solve the mystery of the Observer together.
The Observer? Wait, no, that's too big a risk.
I probably should have started to call the creature in the other world its name a long time ago, but Nathaniel mentions him as the Observer, the gray skinny one. Jake immediately knows what he's talking about and wants him to again leave. But just then, Harry has a change of mind and thinks he can give it a shot. If Nathaniel is true saying that solving this can, quote, change everything, then maybe it's worth the risk in Harry's mind.
Bring your machine here, and I'll do it.
Well, that's great news! Oh, thank you! I'll be right back.
It's time to get some answers. And I actually think we can trust him. This seems to be all he cares about.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Jeez, what a nutter.
Meanwhile, as Nathaniel runs back to get the machine, Kate and Hope share a moment together. How sweet. Knowing Hope can't speak, she talks all she wants about sometimes wanting to just end it all, how all people are afraid, it's just that some can hide it better than others. The usual goth dialogue.
I've seen fear turn good people into monsters. People I trusted. People I loved.
Nathaniel comes back home and puts Olivia in shock, realizing that he went to the other group. He's coming back bringing the machine, and Olivia chooses to come with him. As they get the car ready, Luke is back with Michael, talking trash about Olivia again, saying how they're gonna attack the main group by surprise. But once he himself realizes that the two are going to the house, he has a change of heart and wants to come.
But I'd like to die knowing you will all be safe.
Jake, we're never going to be safe in this world. You know that.
I'm not talking about the undead.
This is getting out of control. First there's your infection. Now this.
Remember when I said Robert was the one that changes the most in the entire series? You can definitely start to see the moment he thought Jake was infected. Robert in Season 2 went from a friendly face, inspired by Jake, wanting to wreak havoc in the stronghold alongside him, to, while being right about the infection thing, being a pessimistic asshole to not only Jake, but other people in the group too. Remember, he also has seen the Observer in his dreams like Harry, but unlike Harry who wants it to end, Robert just thinks it's reckless to know how it operates. And then, he does this.
Oh shit!
Put that gun down.
Shut up! This has to stop!
Robert has good intentions with the group, as he only wants Jake gone because he might kill everyone else. But he isn't exactly the friendly face side character he used to be in Season 2 anymore.
Decisions.
The trigger. Kill me.
Hey!
Holy shit!
Bloody hell!
Fuck. Fucking bastard.
It's Nathaniel. He's not alone.
And Luke, Olivia, and Nathaniel arrive, ending the episodes like this.
Towards brighter days.
Luke?
What?
Jake and Dave are still in the forest. It looks eerily similar to the forest they're in now, but it's probably not the same. Then an odd transition happens.
Where are we?
Somehow they ended up at the Foggy City from the very beginning. According to Dave, they've been walking for days, so might as well check this place out.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I think it's a little too late to make up for all your sins, dude.
That's funny.
Oh shit!
They end up taking refuge in the church, the same one they were in the infection film.
No! Oh, food! No!
Amen to that.
Hey, cheers.
Holy shit, Dave, you had beer all this time? That does not count as a sin.
Besides, we got enough with us to make it this far.
Yeah, I shouldn't complain. Should actually consider ourselves lucky.
And once again, we're back in the future. Kate oddly runs away looking at Luke, and Harry is terrified, of course, seeing him. But it all works out, for now at least.
You guys have a bar?
While the two get to see how the group's been living, Nathaniel gets his machine ready for Harry to use.
I couldn't have done this without you. Such a helpful young man.
Yeah, right.
The next scene, we learn why Kate ran away upon seeing Luke. She tried to hide it, but Dave persisted, and it turns out they're exes. Apparently they met during the outbreak, but as you saw from his way of dealing with things, Kate ran away.
But he changed. Slowly but surely, he changed into something that I could never love or trust. One day when he was out scavenging, I grabbed all that I could carry and ran. I stayed. Right. I just don't know how to be in a...
Meanwhile, Jake and Olivia come to the conclusion to draw a line of the river, serving as a border between the groups before they can really trust each other.
Well, I guess that poor guy didn't know how to cook them properly.
Cook the parasites.
Thankfully, everyone begins to bond over the realization that, according to Dave, you can actually eat the parasites. Cooking them burns the toxins, and yeah, it tastes like chicken apparently. So I guess the guy in the hospital, despite having a fire, ate them raw. Ew. Anyways, Luke has to pee. But oh noes! It's his ex!
Because I love you.
I don't care about your feelings, Luke. Like you never cared for mine. And if you ever touch me again...
I'll make sure it's the last thing you do.
It's to the west of here.
Anyways, Olivia concludes the meeting and tells Nathaniel that she and Luke are leaving. He, of course, stays to work on the machine. Before they go, though, Olivia mentions of a city beyond this wasteland, called Salvation City. We don't see it, but she says that once you leave the forest, you can clearly see the tower of it miles away. So now the group is divided in whether they should stay to combine with the other group or ditch the house and head for what seems to sound like a heaven. Olivia makes sure to say it's not what they think, so no one knows what to do. Jake eventually persuades everyone, except for Robert, that staying is the best idea. Instead, Robert condones a group vote, but again, everyone chooses to stay.
I gotta say, we might not be able to convince the others, but we will in time. And then our group will be bigger and stronger than ever before.
At this point, everything seems optimistic. Yes, Jake is on his last week, and Robert is being an asshole. But no wars are looking to be fought anytime soon. Olivia sympathizes with the other group and thinks they're trustworthy. The next episode, by the way, is the last episode. A good ending might be in sight, where instead of doing nothing but running and hiding for the past 2 seasons, they stand their ground and build their own civilization. All seems well.
Something is bothering you, Luke. I'm here to help you. Is it about that
Wait, what the hell? Maybe it was spite, maybe it was the ex. but I really don't know why he did that. There's no logic behind it.
Ah, fucking shit!
It doesn't matter anyways, because he's the villain.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Heading back to the group,
Luke? What the hell happened? Where's
he
Olivia?
lies saying the main group is the one that shot her.
Dead. We tried to make peace with the attackers. Following Olivia's plan led to her death, and the captive.
He's right.
Michael decides enough is enough, and without another thought, everyone agrees. It's time for a raid.
This is what happens when you trust strangers.
Harry, what do you expect to solve by doing this?
I don't know yet, but I can't keep running from this. It's time to face this thing, once and for all.
Is there anything you need?
This is our forest. Our home. We faced this kind of thing before. And this time won't be the last. We let them burn.
Let them burn.
All we need is absolute peace and quiet.
This is the final episode of The Dark Days, and judging from the fact that it's been 6 years, I think it will stay the last. It's also the longest episode, just being under 50 minutes. Also, as of writing this, it's been 1 day after my 17th birthday. I was 15 when I started this project. I was 14 when I had thoughts about doing the project. I've made many videos since, but no matter what, it's this that has always been on my mind. I'm not sure how many of you are still watching. I think I lost many of you after a while. But to the people that are still watching, I hope I convinced you that this is indeed the best Gmod series out there. I hope you watch it in your free time, because past the views, I assume the billions of pesos I can make off of this, and the achievement of making a 2-hour-long video, I made this because I just want more people to know of Xander's work. But enough talking. I've turned 2 years older since making this, so it's time to end it. It's a recap of the infection film, except this time we see how it ends. Dave survives just okay and swims to safety. He even witnesses Jake getting kidnapped by the cops in gas masks. He attempts to find a way to distract them, and a group of zombies seem to work. I also love how even though this part wasn't made in 2009, it still films like it. Dave ends up bypassing the cops and into the base, where Jake lies in the same room he was in when he got experimented on. And now we know how he got left in the streets when Harry found him. He was dragged there by Dave until the zombies got too much. So Dave left him there to go fight said zombies. He ended up having to go above ground because it got too much for him. Eventually, once the attack died down, he returned to find Jake missing. Before the scene ends, none other than the Observer shows up. Dave was just long enough to take a picture of it. I guess he's kept that photograph all these years later. Seeing how he can't find Jake, he runs off into the forest.
State your business here.
Where he gets jump scared by a bunch of survivors. They are kind though, and even tell them that there's a stronghold not far from them with hundreds of refugees.
Come on, join us at Fort Amelia.
Harry tries to pass out on the machine, but it's not working.
Really working.
He thinks laying down is the problem, so tries to go into his mind via leaning against the wall. And
amazing!
Seeing that it works, Nathaniel hooks up the machine and joins him. Kind of spooky looking.
So, did it work?
It worked! My god!
The next shot, Nathaniel made it safe and sound along with Harry. But before the title card, he mentions that he was actually lying. And again, very vaguely, says he's instead here in the overworld to undo his mistake. Okay, so this is kind of confusing, so I'll try and make it somewhat clear.
My machine is still on, Harry. It's been running all these years, bringing the worlds closer together. What? How?
The machine that Nathaniel made is basically what allows the observer to come into the real world, and because of it, it's bringing the other world and real world together closer. Somehow. So yeah, Harry basically has to save the world or else the thin fabrics of the universe collapse. No pressure.
But on behalf of me and Dave, it's been a long time since we lost someone we cared about. Long enough for us to forget how it feels.
I mean, you only knew him up to this point for like 3 days max?
There's nothing to discuss.
Jake, knowing it's his last day, says his goodbyes to Dave as well. But it doesn't end like how Jake wanted, I assume.
Trust me, I don't like this either.
I don't know. Okay? I don't know. I don't know how to cope with this. Just don't follow me.
And finally, we cut to Robert. He's pleased to know that Jake will be dead by the end of the day, but that doesn't stop him from being questioned why he acted the way he did. Again, it was good intentions, and even tells James that he himself was a part of a group in a similar scenario. He also mentions Harry and Nathaniel. He knows what they're doing up there, and it terrifies him. But before he can continue...
Probably won't be long before the Observer finds us, and then we're all fucked.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Shit. 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 Oh shit, shit, shit.
The raid has begun, with Robert dead and Harry unconscious. That only makes 7 members left to defend a horde of tens of dozens. They do their best to barricade the door. The only way they can get a good shot is through the windows, and they start taking pot shots. Gasman even picks up an RPG just in case. And meanwhile, with Harry and the silly old nerd...
Alright, so we have 2 options. Kill the Observer, or destroy your machine.
There might be one way.
Don't you fucking say it.
My machine is connected to the Observer, Harry. Just like you are.
So, what? I reach out for the Observer, and the location of your machine will be magically revealed to me.
Well, it's a theory.
So you're not even sure it's going to work?
This is the only way I can think of.
The raid persists, but so far, no one dies. Hell, a grenade is even thrown into the window. But, oh noes! It rolls to the machine!
You are batshit crazy, man. I'm leaving.
Please, don't!
Nathaniel, but more importantly, Harry, doesn't wake up. With the vehicles destroyed, some of the other group is starting to abandon the attack. And besides, with the trees on fire, the zombie wildlife preservation group shows up. One of the men tries to convince Luke that leaving is the best choice, but he's determined to get the supplies.
Not without the supplies!
A bit later on, only Nathaniel wakes up.
Why is your group attacking us?
What? I don't know.
The machine blazes on fire from the grenade and only grows.
You need to stop this attack. Right now.
I mean, he does his best, but...
Hey! Stop this, please! Everyone listen!
The fire is spreading, and now the door's been blown open. It's time to get out. They can't go through the front door because Luke is there, armed with a crossbow. So no one knows how to get out. No one except for Dave.
Guys, Dave just jumped out the window.
Not sure how Luke is going to carry all the supplies solo, but this is the last shot we see of him. He got what he wanted. Everyone, one by one, is jumping down, including Harry and Nathaniel.
Maybe this is the way it's supposed to be. What are you? No!
Well, I suppose Nathaniel could be a good replacement to Robert. Even though Nathaniel's daughter is, to his knowledge, in the other group, yeah, he doesn't know that she got shot a while ago, he decides it's best to follow the group. His own group would have killed him regardless, so this is all he has. Oh, and look! Harry woke up! Yay!
What is happening right now?
They get the hell out of the war zone, but fire hazes everywhere, turning the clear forest into a deadly fog.
Look out!
Some split up amongst the smoke. And Jake isn't doing good. Harry sees this, but he gets ambushed by a fast zombie. This is his last day he'll be alive, until he turns. A zombie walks up to him slowly, ready to attack. Despite this, Dave doesn't care. He puts Jake on his back, and runs at Mach 5 with him on. Holy shit! The rest of the group is fighting the zombies amongst the smoke. Gasman does just the same. However, turning to his right, and that's it. Yup, and cliffhanger. 6 years later, despite saying to be continued, nothing has come along since then. As I said way back in the intro, there's an update video talking about why Xander chose not to work on the Dark Days anymore. He made this decision back in August of 2018, and I guess he's gonna stick to that decision. So, yeah. I don't really know how to end a 2-hour-long video. Okay, how about I say this? Christ, was that a phenomenal series Xander created. Today, Xander is working on a Gmod project called Space Quest. It's even more professional in terms of writing and animation. But for me, I'm just gonna stick to the Dark Days, my favorite of the series. I can only imagine how much time Xander put into making the series. Not only is it a great Gmod artwork, but it's like a time capsule of how the internet used to work back then. YouTubers made no serious amount of money then. There wasn't really a concept of upload schedules and deadlines and dumb small things like that makes YouTubers today needlessly burnt out. Back then, you just made whatever you wanted, and sometimes you could have got lucky and had millions watching. The Dark Days was made purely with love and passion in mind, nothing else. So if the love and passion has been sapped, I guess it won't be finished then. It went from a no-named, basically Gmod roleplay with huge quality gaps and sound bugs, to, well, a still no-named, but by the end, a masterful art piece, somehow creating every single character to be memorable and important. He created great villains, lovable people, an engaging story that kept my attention all the way through, all the while keeping its charm while never being too cheesy or dated despite being a decade old by now. Xander started this in 2009, when he was in his teen years, and now he's in his 30s, still rocking Gmod content. And yet, his channel got terminated, and he still doesn't know why. Thanks, YouTube. So yeah, Xander, I hope this video puts a small band-aid on that whole issue. Okay, so that's basically all I have to say about the series. So, interview time. Yeah, it was quite easy to get into contact with Xander.
Alright, this is Xander, answering your questions for the video you're making. I'm looking very much forward to see it. And thanks so much for doing it. Alright, first question. What got you into the whole Gmod film stuff? What inspired you to make those kinds of videos? It was all the way back in 2006 or something. And I was just looking through YouTube. And I found all these cool videos with characters and props and shit from the Half-Life universe. And I've never seen that before, but it really got me intrigued. And I was wondering how the people made those things. And then along came a guy back then called Digital Fear with the whole Halo 3 machinima with the Master Chief, Sox at Halo, and RBN the Chief, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I really digged the way he made it. He voiced acted almost all the characters, he made his own music. Today he's known as John CJG, and he still makes machinimas. and he was maybe the biggest inspiration for me. And then along came this whole wave of cool machinimas. The League World came along, Counter-Strike slash Gmod machinima. I think they made 2 seasons of that. And then Xanatos came along with the Source Wars and the G-Man Squad. Those guys were basically the force that pushed me in that direction. I've always been compelled to telling stories and writing stories and making up my own worlds and world building. Using Gmod for that just made sense to me. If I needed to make all this stuff in real life, I would need a huge budget. But here, I got all these props and effects to just play around with. Then I tried it out, and I tried to make my own stuff, and it just made sense to me, and I just continued doing it. So yeah, that's basically how I got into it. Question number 2. Do you remember the day you got up and said, yep, I'm going to make a zombie series? I don't remember the specific day, and I don't remember why I wanted to make it. I think I've just finished another series called Renegade, and I'd made like a movie or 2 after that. And I wanted to try something new, and I just really liked the map, the Silent Hill, the spooky city with the mist all around it. I think I just had this idea of a lone survivor walking through the streets in that kind of environment. That's basically how I come up with stuff. It always starts with a cool map I found on the workshop. And then it just snowballed from there. Question number 3. Do you remember how many subscribers you had before my old channel got terminated? I don't remember the exact amount, but it was closer to 10,000. I think I had like 7,000 or 8,000 if I remember correctly. It was, yeah, up there. And how many views did the Dark Days have before it got re-uploaded? The first one was almost 100,000, I think. And then it came down to a steady 10 to 20,000 each episode. Question number 4. Do you remember the exact dates of when you began the infection and all 3 seasons of the Dark Days? I don't remember the date, but I had this old college roommate. We used to play Gmod and Synergy and all kinds of games. And he was also like into doing movies in the machinima way. And we got together a couple weekends, and then we just made a few films. And The Infection was one of those. I really don't remember the exact date, but it was one of the first things I created with him. And then it later became like the foundation of the Dark Days. Once I brainstormed a lot, I think it was into season 2 that I pulled it in that direction. That The Infection was actually a prequel, and then tied it all together in the later end of season 3. Question number 5. Did you know beforehand you were going to spend months and years developing the Dark Days, or did it just kind of happen to be an entire show-length series? Well, I didn't know that I was going to spend so much time on it, but I surely hoped that it would be popular enough for me to do that. I've always wanted to make something with a lot of episodes, something that would just continue on. A bit like Red vs. Blue. So I didn't know that I was going to, but I hoped that I would. I had no idea how it would turn out at all. I was just improvising. You still have no idea why YouTube terminated my old channel? Yeah, I still have no idea. Question number 7. I heard you were in a band. Well, I used to be. We actually made 3 albums. It was in Danish, and I played guitar and mandolin and bass and harmonica as well. It was a fun time. It lasted from 2016 up until I think 2020 or something. 2021 maybe. Everything we did was in my native tongue, Danish. So we also had a Danish name called B-siden. And it's basically like the other side of like a vinyl. You know, you got an A side and a B side. And the B side is like the less popular stuff, because what we did was like a niche. So that just made sense. Question number 8. What does the future of Crowbar production look like? Well, I've tried to make like a roadmap for where I want to go with all this stuff. The series I'm working on now, Space Quest, is definitely the last Gmod project that I would be working on. I would like to make more music in the future. I'm not sure it's going to go under the name Crowbar Productions, but if I need to continue making movies and short films, it would definitely be an Unreal Engine or some other engine. It'd be kind of cool if Sandbox turned out to be like a better version of Garry's Mod, because I really like the way that you animate and stuff like that in Garry's Mod, and I like the way that you are like in the world and you can mess around with it in the way that you do it. It just makes sense to me, I guess. The new Garry's Mod or Sandbox turns out to do the same things, maybe do it better and with better graphics. I might be obliged to try that out as well. Who is your favorite Dark Days character? And that's a tough one. I really love Harry. I think Harry is a pretty cool character, and he turned out to be very important to the storyline as well. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's like a goddamn ice cream truck ringing the bell like a crazy person down on the street from where I live. So sorry about that. No, I think he's a very funny character, and he's pretty important to the storyline. He's got this unique ability that makes him very important to the progression of the story and getting some answers. And him and Nathaniel's dynamic is pretty cool. So I think I like those two characters together. Question number 10. Do you know what happened to the original crew who participated in the Dark Days? Are you still friends with them, or did they move on? Well, Hippie, my old college roommate who played Dave, I know he's a sergeant in the army now. I rarely talk to him these days. He lives basically across the country from me. It's not that much I speak with him, nor the other guys actually. So no, I don't really talk to like the bulk of the old crew. And I think it's also got something to do with my absence, the time after the cancellation. And I had to work so hard with my band and stuff. I just never got anywhere near part of my life for a long time. So they just naturally faded, I guess. And the final question. Is there no way for me, absolutely none, even with the support of potentially hundreds of thousands of viewers after I upload this 2-hour-long something video, that I and thousands of others can convince you to finish the Dark Days once and for all? Well, that would be pretty cool. I would love to, but it doesn't really make sense for me to do it now. Most of the original voice actors, I lost contact with most of them, and it would be pretty weird to finish it and have the voice actors change suddenly in the last 3 episodes. If I had to finish it, it would be like a straight up remake. It's not something I'm opposed to, but it just needs to make sense for me and where I am in my life, because that would be a huge undertaking. And because I went into the machinima game once again and made Space Quest, was because that the entire concept of it just was easier for me to wrap my head around and create it. For example, they're all wearing masks, so I wouldn't have to spend hours lip syncing a 2-minute conversation, stuff like that, you know. If I wanted to really do it again, I might change up a few things, and I would need help, and I would love to like do it commercially in a way that I can like sell it also, because it takes so much work. So if I need to dedicate myself to something like that again, it would need to be not using Garry's Mod and something that's already owned by another company. I would have to make everything from scratch so that I would be able to like sell it. There they go again with the goddamn bells. So yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but it needs to make sense for me, and right now, it really doesn't. So we'll see once I finish Space Quest and once I finish all the music I want to create. Alright, I guess that was it. Thank you so much for wanting to interview me and making this video. I'm really looking forward to see it. Alright, cheers.
Hey, what's up? I hope this was worth the wait after all that time not uploading. Christ, this took forever to make. I don't even know if this type of video will even do good because I don't think anyone knows the Dark Days at all. What if my video about this super niche thing doesn't get popular? I don't really care though. I just wanted to make this video because of pure passion. I absolutely adore this series. I just had to make a video about it. It was waiting for an analysis. As I'm editing my voice, I am just on the verge of collapsing. This took a lot out of me, but in a good way. I first started out making this video over the summer, but it even got to a point where I was just working on my video during my 11th grade semester. It's funny too because I'm not even a movie person. I don't really like binge watching movies, films, or series in a single sitting. If I was given the option to choose my zombie content, I'd be playing it instead of watching it. Which I guess just goes to show how much I love this movie. Anyways, like I said an hour back, go subscribe to Xander, please. And Xander, I hope you enjoyed me talking about your film. If you're even watching. I hope your work gets the recognition I don't know. I hope it gets popular like it deserves. Alright, so what's next for the channel? Well, I don't think you'll be seeing me make another video like this in years, maybe ever. I'm probably just gonna go back to making my usual type of content. Oh, and I also want to give a special thanks to a best friend of mine. I prefer to call him Vladiok, but here's his channel name if you want to subscribe to him. He's the one that helped me discover this series. He's the reason this video was even made to begin with. Thank you so much for passively mentioning it for whatever reason. Okay, I'm about to pass out now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you sometime in the future. Bye-bye.
Terrible fucking decisions, Harry.
I will try to touch it.
No, you can't do that. It's dangerous. It's forbidden. You don't know the consequences.
No, we can't. Any one of you could be the next in line to fall in Jericho's hands.
He is alive.
Fuck is your problem, dude?
Jake is infected. Together with all of my other soldiers, we are the KOV, Kings of the Wasteland. Because that's what we are.
What's wrong with Harry?
I told you not to wake us up. The consequences could be fatal. I told you that.
I agree with Olivia.
But people did die. My brother was one of them. Do you expect us to just forgive and forget?
Or destroy your machine.
That is correct, yes.
I vote for the last one.
Me too. The problem is that after all these years, it's impossible for me to locate Project Stairway.
We don't have time to wonder. We need to get out of here. The house is on fire.
Guys, Dave just jumped out the window.
I'm sure your brother didn't want more blood to be spilled, especially not on his behalf.
You didn't know my brother.
He's right. Olivia was delusional, downright ignorant to trust these people. This is what happens when you trust strangers.
I never expected this kind of callousness from you.
We have to do something. Now!